Would you like to do it?
Nah, I just want to see it. I just want to see it happen. I want to see the magic.
The magic of a clapper.
It's pretty sick.
Dick bag.
Yeah. The clapper's the most exciting thing that's happened so far.
Yeah, cool. Done. I'm out.
Who's doing intro?
You.
Ah,
It's your time to shine, Miss Star of the show.
hey, someone's got to be. Welcome to the Boardcast. Episode don't know because I've lost count. Tonight's guests, Tim and Tailah, Goose and Phoenix from Rush Distribution.
Yes, sir.
Jones Snowboards, Nidecker, Flow.
32.
32.
What else? 32.
Yep.
Flux.
Rome.
We don't do Rome, so we don't talk about them.
Yeah, don't know
What else?
Spark splitboard bindings.
Let's talk about splitboarding.
Yeah. We can.
What
We
a
could.
stupid part of snowboarding.
No, it's good.
Splitboarding. Awesome. If you want to.
If you don't like people, just get away from them all. Go to the mountains.
Yeah,
Just walk away.
Or
I'm
just,
interested to try it. I haven't yet.
Come
We will
split
do
one.
that.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's heaps of fun.
Yeah.
You like hiking?
I like hiking.
Yeah, it's like that, but then you get to snowboard at the end of it.
Yeah.
Get
That's
a
better than a
license.
chairlift.
No, it's
Chairlift's pretty
fucking
good.
not.
Yeah, chairlift's
I like
pretty
hiking.
good, but
Yeah.
I like hiking too.
It's not
Believe it
better
or not.
than a chairlift. You know how long a chairlift takes to get you to the top of the
Okay.
mountain?
Depends
in my
on-
head, I picture
Where are we?
like,
Where are
I'm
we?
hiking and
Perisher or
it's like-
Thredbo?
Okay, well, either.
Well, Thredbo takes way less time than Perisher
Okay,
to
but
go
either
3 times the different distance.
compared to splitboarding.
Well, you
Viewers,
depends. Yeah, but
how many runs in a day? The most you've ever done on
most I've ever done?
Yeah.
Probably 6.
Okay, so well, these days if it's
It's a
crowded,
big day. Yeah,
crowded
yeah.
at,
Yeah, Front Valley.
like, yeah,
Windy day
could
at
be
Front
a-
Valley.
you could have
You're
6
way in
runs a
front.
day
And they're
you
longer
paid-
than Front Valley.
You paid $250 for the pleasure of doing it.
Yeah,
so.
splitboard you've only got to pay like $3,500.
Yeah, look, I'm not anti-splitboarding. I just don't like it.
You sound anti-splitboarding.
Tell us how you really feel.
I can't leave this clip. That's driving me crazy. I've done it twice and it sucked both times
Why?
because it's walking.
Who'd you go with?
Dan?
I went with my wife's godsons, and the snow was this deep, and it fucking sucked. Like, why would you be
Well, it
splitboarding
sounds
on
sick.
a day like that? What the fuck?
Why would you be splitboarding on a day like that?
Because we booked splitboarding and
You booked
Where were
it was
you?
in Japan, Hakuba.
Yeah.
Why would you go splitboarding at
Because the
Hakuba?
boys wanted to go, and they were like, "Oh,
Do you have a-
come."
So
Do you have a
don't write
guide or
off
something?
because you made a dumb decision.
Did you have a guide or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we had a guy.
So you booked a guide and you were like, well, we have to kind of go because we booked a guide.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not.
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
about
If
it's
you
it's
went out in different conditions.
that's
it
that's
would
not
be-
necessarily hiking either. When you're
Splitboarding to
trudging
me
through
is something
heaps of
you
snow.
would do when the snow is shit to go and access something a bit better.
Yeah.
Mate, splitboarding's stupid.
I feel
That's
like
good.
you should try it.
I like it. Yeah, we'll all go splitboarding.
Yeah.
We'll
I've
do one of
already
these from the top
decided-
of
I've
the
made my
mountain or
decision.
something.
Yeah.
Let's go
Guthiga
splitboarding
tree.
together.
Yeah, we'll just go to the top of Guthiga Tree. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Takes like 40 minutes to go up. Takes 40 minutes for me to get up there.
That's good. I could probably do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So
Let's
I
be
went
real.
once a couple of years ago with a friend of mine, and her partner he's a groom at Perisher. So he finished work. We started to go up Guthiga Tree. He went to his car, got changed, ripped over, beat us to the top of Guthiga Tree. He had to come from the other side.
That says a lot
Yeah.
about fitness levels, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, there's like big runs and shit.
Just runs.
Ultra marathon thingy.
Really?
Yeah, triathlon. He just
Yeah,
did the
right. Well, no
triathlon
wonder
in
he's
Port.
fit.
Yeah, I didn't do the triathlon in Port.
I don't understand triathlons. Like, that's as dumb as splitboarding to
Yeah,
me.
so I'm not trying to be the best at exercising.
No. No, apparently not. What was your amazing idea? I want to know now.
You want to know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry to go off track completely.
Very.
Haven't even talked to these two yet, but
No,
don't worry
We
about
spoke about
us.
splitboarding.
Don't worry
wanna
about them. Well, I had an idea of doing a little segment where
oh no, a segment.
Dun, dun, dun.
well,
Does
it's
it
pretty
need a
much
jingle?
just an excuse for
Yeah.
me to talk about my
Get a
lunch.
jingle for sure.
Ooh.
Your lunch.
My lunch
Okay, nice.
today.
Yeah. Fuck no.
I
it's
wouldn't
I'm
have
kind of
any.
interested all of a sudden. Yeah, hungry guy over here. He's not happy.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be terrible for
Oh,
you.
Whittle Allen's hungry.
don't even have snacks. Anyway,
Just
go
drink
on.
beer.
Hey, yeah, I know, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
Steak
it
and egg in
is.
every beer.
Yeah.
That's what they used to say.
These beers, not anymore. That's like VB and stuff.
This
Sorry.
one tastes like BB. Well, not. That's a terrible thing to say. It's
Yeah,
actually better.
I think you probably have to cut
But
that
it
out.
tastes like a
Yeah.
normal. tastes like a really
thanks for the
regular
BB
beer.
taste.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
not. It's not heaps crafty. Yeah,
It just tastes like beer.
Mm.
It's great.
I feel like. Sorry.
Sorry.
Like, I
Oh,
feel like
wait. My segment, because part of this podcast is loosely tied to like the community around borders, but I thought you could do a little segment of like calling out a local shop or local food place or something like that
Buy me lunch.
that we
I'm down.
have eaten at or visited and that we love
Mhm.
in like from the last week. Each episode we do one, and today I want to talk about my lunch that I had at Lux Box in Manly. It's like a bagel
Lux Box.
place, and they do fucking incredible bagels, dude. It's so good. I had a veggie bagel, and they did vegan cream cheese, and then you can get all different kinds of stuff, and then they did. And it was like, you know, when you go to an
This
old
is not a
school.
segment. This is you talking about your fucking.
this is still reminiscing
You're
over
just
lunch.
talking about your
Yeah.
lunch.
And this is you being upset that you didn't get one.
No, yeah.
Would you have had the
Yeah.
vegan cream cheese
No, I
bagel?
wouldn't have a bagel just out of principle. The middle's missing. I don't.
Okay, so you
I
just
don't
want a
The
bagel
hole's
that doesn't
like
have a
that
hole.
big. It's not
If
that
I
big.
made you a bagel that didn't have a hole, would you eat it?
That's a sandwich.
It's a
Sorta.
round sandwich.
You got to boil it
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
What do you mean
It's
you
a
got to
roll.
boil it?
You boil
Yeah.
bagels.
Yeah.
You boil bagels in like
Yeah.
water and molasses, and then you bake them in the oven.
Yeah.
That's why they're kind of gooey.
Because
Why
aside
they're
from
not-
sourdough,
they're
we
like
also
dense.
make bagels.
She had 5 kilos of flour delivered to the shop today.
I did.
This is. We
To
shouldn't
our
be talking
shop? Yeah.
about.
Downstairs.
We shouldn't talk about bread because it'll go off the rails.
Please tell me.
Well, when I moved to Melbourne, Tim was like, make sourdough. And then my best friend came to Melbourne and I was like, make some sourdough. And it was her birthday, so I'm going there tomorrow. So I got
Sick.
some flour and
This
sourdough.
episode is so
Amazing
bad.
thing.
How long are you
With-
staying there? Because doesn't sourdough take like a week to make?
No, it's a couple. Nah,
No.
Are you
like-
making the
It's
starter?
it's like a day and a half.
Nah, it's just got the
that
starter.
takes a week to
Yeah.
get so it's usable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I looked into this. I was like, I want to bake my own bread. And
I can
was
bring you
like,
some
yeah.
I
starter.
was
Next
like,
time we're up, I'll just bring you some
I don't
starter and you can just go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
But
sure there's
doesn't-
some starter in my fridge that you could steal. 'Cause
Yeah,
Riley
you could
used
make
to
that
make
work
starter.
again.
No, but doesn't
Yeah.
starter only last like
No,
No, not
14
really.
days?
Not
Nah.
really.
Okay,
Definitely
this-
Pull
not.
it out of the fridge and it comes
Yeah.
to life.
Yeah,
I
pretty
know
much.
about
So,
sourdough.
we're talking about bread.
What happened? Hang on,
I
hang on.
like bread.
What
So
happened to the segment?
Oh, well, I shouted out Lux Box in
right.
Manly.
I thought
for
Lux Box was
bagels.
funny as
Oh.
well.
And
So we're
then,
doing
like,
ads.
It's
Is that what
no,
we're
I
doing?
just wanted to
Free
call
ads.
out that, and you can call out another local
Get back to
business.
let's get back to the bread.
I might need to pause for a sec because Ed's called me like 3 times.
Okay.
Oh no.
I don't think we've ever
Yeah.
had
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the guests
Yep.
getting a call from their boss in the
Thanks.
middle of a podcast before.
So, guys, the first one was a pocket dial. The second one was to let you know that the first one was a pocket dial.
Oh, well, that was worth the interruption. Fucking Ed just completely derailed the
Yeah.
podcast. Good job.
Yeah.
Well,
I was like,
yeah,
ooh, twice
so
in a row. That was something must have happened.
it's an
He wants to get in
emergency.
touch with me.
What have we done?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get yelled at on camera here.
So the pocket dial was a backup call. Then he called to tell you he pocketed it.
Yeah.
You text.
Well, when you just get, we didn't answer, so who cares?
Yeah, move
That's
on.
what I would
Move on.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or send a thing going pocket dial.
Yeah, I would never do that. I'd just be like, well, they didn't answer, so they don't give a shit.
That was a very strange interruption. That's our first ever phone call in the middle of a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's the first
Yes.
one where you felt obliged to make a call back. Anyway.
For a pocket dial.
So you're just calling out Lux as a great place to go have a bagel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That was worth it.
Well, okay. Well, then.
I'll call out Freshwater Brewery. Call out, shout out.
Yeah.
These
Call
guys,
out sounds like you
these
want to
guys
fight
have
them a
been
little
giving
bit.
us beer.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
This is much better than the bagel. You should drink it.
Wow. What a
There
salesman.
you go.
Yeah.
Much better than the bagel.
Yeah, well, I like bagels, but I'd probably agree.
Yeah.
Have you had any standout meals in Sydney since you've been here?
We've heard of this place called Bodega, which is a deli.
Yeah, we've been told we got to go have a sandwich
Where?
Yeah.
In the
in,
city?
Where?
in Manly.
Bodega.
Bodega.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
I don't know where it
Manly?
is. Apparently,
Yeah.
I can't think of where that would be.
it's in Manly.
Sandwich place.
Yeah, it's like a deli, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
fucking...
Oh,
Is it the downstairs thing, that giant new... It used to be that place where you'd get ripped off Santa Cruz t-shirts.
I don't think it's heaps new. Like it was here when we were here in
I don't
December.
think that's heaps new either.
Okay, well you said new, so
Yeah. Oh, more newish. It used to be a $2.
okay, no.
I
It used to
think
be a rip-off
Oh,
shirt shop.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it kind of near Butterboy?
Yes.
Cookies?
Yeah. That place.
I don't know where that
think
is
that's
either.
it.
Oh, I've had
It's
them
really-
before. They're good.
They're really good.
so we're going
Yeah.
out for a sandwich and some cookies. It sounds like
Bloody oath we are.
maybe a glass of milk.
No.
And if you're here for a second day, check out Lux in a box.
Lux in a box.
Lux in a box? LOX.
I don't
It
know.
can't be... It
L-
can't be
Lux.
Lux.
LOX.
L-U-X
Lux.
is
Yeah.
Lux
L-U-X-E.
in a box.
Yeah, it sounds like deluxe, doesn't it? That's
Alright,
what it makes
so,
me think.
Yeah, you've shouted out the wrong business.
It's, you know, Lux.
There goes that sponsorship.
Well, just do like a voiceover recording. Locks in a
Locks in a
box.
box.
Add it in later.
That's great.
Very good.
So anyway, let's get back to
Bread?
some sort of structure.
Yeah, we didn't finish that conversation.
What
Yeah.
happened with the bread?
I don't know what we're talking about
Nor
anymore.
do
Yeah.
I. So
I
let's
thought
fucking-
You boil
died.
you
Yeah.
boil bagels.
Yeah.
Started. It does die, but it takes a long time. So I leave mine. I don't put mine in the fridge, and I'll leave it on like the range hood in my kitchen for like 2 weeks, and I'll come back and mix it up, and it comes back to life.
Yeah, right. I heard you had to keep feeding it
You do. You sort of do.
and like daily.
When you want to make bread, you do that.
The worst podcast ever. I don't care about
Sorry,
that.
it's not.
You're about to
appeasing
leave.
Your
Yeah.
interest.
I'll go home
I'll have another one of these delicious freshwater
go
brewery
get-
beers, please.
so I can
Yeah,
get
can you
fucking...
get everyone beers, thanks?
Yeah.
Where's the fridge?
Can I try one of the
We'll
lager
take 3 crisp
Can I have another
lagers,
Hale?
thanks, Al.
hazy,
Hazy.
Hang on.
3 lagers.
and one of them for Ferguson over here?
Don't want to
You know,
crisp
do
lager.
I'll have whatever.
Whoa. Hang on.
you want a hazy or a crisp?
I like these, but I
Stick
would.
to hazy.
All right, I'm going to get it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, well that's good to know that I don't have to keep
Nah.
feeding a starter
Yeah,
every
nah.
day. 'cause
No.
like, that's
But I feel like if you left it there for like 6 months, it'd probably die
It would go gross.
because it's like alive.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But I leave mine in my fridge.
Yeah, I leave mine in the fridge. Just leave it.
Okay, and then you just like add stuff to it and leave it in a warm space. And
Yeah.
it comes
So
to
you
life
watch
again.
heaps of stuff on YouTube, and it'll be like,
I probably should have turned the mic off. While
and not carried it near the thing. Oh, you got a yellow one. That's fun.
That's not even the same one.
That's a Mexico one. I'll have that if you want.
Do you want
Yeah, I'll have whatever's
that-
going.
do you want that one again? Or you want
I'll
something
have one of
different?
these. Thank you.
Does that mean I'm
That's a
having that one?
Cerveza.
I know
It's a
about
Mexican
the
one.
Mexican.
Mexican style
Mexican.
beer.
Like Corona.
Yeah, but probably
How do you
heaps
say
better.
that?
Hopefully
word.
way better.
Cerveza.
Cerveza?
Cerveza, yeah.
Cerveza.
Cerveza.
Cerveza?
Yeah, well, I'm not Spanish, so I just say it how a
Aren't you?
yobbo would say it.
The last Rafa to me.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're not Spanish.
no, mate.
Wow.
But yeah,
You
bread.
can't tell.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
No. Anyway, can we talk about...
You guys.
You in the middle of something?
Bread.
Sorry, I was
No,
like,
I don't
we're,
know.
done
Years.
with, we're done with stuff.
Yeah, we definitely spoke about
Let's
bread. I don't
find
know what
out
we got to.
about
Oh no.
You guys.
Tim and Taylor. Taylor particularly, because we kind of know Tim. He doesn't like eggs. But Taylor,
Or peas.
Oh,
I don't
hey,
like
are we,
peas
are we
or
starting a
eggs.
list for
Well,
him?
I mean, there's
Gonna
food
have
that
to-
everyone doesn't like. You don't like sausages.
well, I don't.
Or
eat
cheese.
meat.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So there you go.
I do like
There's heaps of
sausages,
things
though.
in that.
His list is closer to like maybe Dan's list of things he doesn't like.
Don't.
Uh
Pizza, Mexican,
Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't like pizza. It's might as well just have cheese
You
on
okay?
toast.
zucchini, eggplant.
Isn't that the conversation? That's what Dan always used to say. I feel like I was sat in once where you
I've
two
kind of come
argued
around
about-
to Mexican a little bit. I've been eating.
Oh, what's your
Yeah,
problem
Because
with
you're hanging
Mexican?
out with Dan.
Is that because you're hanging out
now.
with Dan and I made him eat Mexican? Because he used to not like it either.
No, yeah, I don't want to eat
You
Mexican.
two go on
with
little cute
Dan.
Mexican dates?
Dan was the old Tim for everyone who's listening to this thinking this is just ramble right now.
He's not dead.
He's not dead, but he's now a Patagonia
Yeah.
person. So how did you, Tailah, end up at Rush? Where did you come from? ESS as well?
ESS, yeah, on the Central
Right.
Coast.
And then how did you get roped into this? How did you get roped? How did both of you, being from New South Wales, get roped into moving?
I moved down during lockdowns too, so that was
Oh,
pretty
that
sick.
was smart.
Yeah.
To the most locked down
Now,
place
do you know
in the
what?
world.
I actually kind of thought I brained it because it was that weird intersection where Victoria just come out of lockdown, like literally a week before I moved down. And then the northern beaches went in, and I was like, I am so good. I've absolutely killed this.
How'd that
This
work
is
out?
so good. Yeah, 3 weeks later.
You locked down.
3 weeks later, it was December. The next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Yeah, no good, mate.
So you moved down just as that whole state got locked down.
Just after it got out. So I thought I was kind of good. And then it second waved.
Fuck, that was insane, hey? So you were locked in for months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were out pretty quickly.
Yeah. And even then, because I'm from Central Coast, when they were in like lockdown, my dad's ringing me. He's going, "Oh, this is bullshit. I can't go anywhere." And I'm like, "Mate, you can go anywhere on the Central Coast.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
go. I live in Point Cook, which is a bit of a shithole in Melbourne. I can go to Point Cook.
Yeah.
Sick.
We were kind of, it was weird. We were kind of
The northern
free.
beaches were
Yeah,
free.
because
but
you guys could go within your
LGA.
council zone or whatever.
And
Yeah, and our
ours
council
happens to
is
be
like-
Same as the Central
Yeah.
Coast. It's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
a pretty good spot. There's a lot to do. So you
Yeah.
can just go about your life.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
doors are blowing
Beaches
up, and
Council,
I'm
no
like,
one leaves here anyway.
Yeah, I was like walking and going into like the Manly to Spit walk, which goes through National Park.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, so I was talking to people in Melbourne, and they're like, I've walked the same 5 fucking blocks.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
just, it was rough.
I was in Cooma at the time of the second lockdown, so I was going splitboarding. I was having heaps
Yeah.
of fun.
Great.
I deserved
Yeah.
it though, because
You deserve it.
well, yeah, I was on the Central
Great.
Coast during the first part of the Melbourne lockdown, and obviously good friends with Dan, and I was going snowboarding and splitboarding a lot as well. So
Yeah.
I just sent him photos of me snowboarding every time, and he got very cross.
Yeah, I bet.
I thought it was hilarious, and then I moved down, got in lockdown, and people started sending me. I was like, "Can you fuck off?"
Karma.
Yeah. So you had what you get. You get what you
I
give.
remember sitting in a restaurant down in DY sending chunk photos of us
But yeah,
Yeah.
out to dinner.
eating out.
Yeah.
And it was just like such a nasty thing to do to
Yeah.
someone in Melbourne.
But you
Send
don't
them
you
a
don't
photo.
realize how nasty it is until you have to be a part of this whole weird lockdown. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
crazy.
that was somewhat dickish.
Yeah. Just going out for dinner was like sending someone a photo of that was considered like asshole. You're an asshole, man. Chunk was sending
Yeah.
back, fuck you guys. Fuck
I missed the Ring of Steel. That was the thing that I
That's-
didn't get to see.
the 5 kilometre thing.
Well, it was 5 kilometers, but they locked Melbourne in its own little fucking
What a
zoo,
Dumb.
basically.
yeah, that was nuts. What a weird
That's
scenario.
bizarre.
Yeah.
That whole scenario was anyway. Where are you from?
Also from
Tailah?
the Central Coast.
Any case?
So do you guys work together at ESS?
No,
Nah.
I started a bit after Tim, but we actually met in Japan.
Yeah, I met Ferguson in Japan. So nickname's
5
Ferg,
years
right?
ago.
Where does that come from?
Your
Well-
surname?
So
That's
should we
surname.
start? This is a long story.
Okay.
So it starts with my
This is a
nickname,
long
which is
format
Manhole.
Is it your last name?
No,
No, my last name is Fitzsimmons.
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah.
How
So
do
Didn't think
basically,
so.
so you know my Manhole nickname story, how it was
Yeah.
Mac 10 and then it
Yeah.
was a miscommunication, Manhole.
Yeah.
So same thing happened. I was calling her Fitzy, which she didn't like. I was like, it
Well,
doesn't matter. You don't like it.
that
I
was
don't
me in
care.
high
It's a nickname.
You're like,
Yeah.
look at my list
Yeah.
of nicknames.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I was
call
just
me
like, whatever.
Manhole.
It's a nickname. You're not supposed to like it. Yeah.
I've got dump truck.
Yeah.
Fitzy's fine.
Well, I feel like for me, Fitzy was a high school thing, and then I kind of grew out of it, and then this
Really?
weird bloke starts calling me Fitzy again. And I was like,
Yeah.
nah, man.
But then my wife and Tailah started hanging out when she moved down a little bit, and my wife goes to me, "Oh, what's Ferg up to?" And I was like, "Who the fuck's Ferg?" She goes, "Oh, you work with her?" And I was like, You mean
don't.
Fitzy? You mean Fitzy? And she goes, oh, that's right. And I was like, yeah, it's Ferg.
Yeah.
It's Ferg from here on in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably 6 months ago now.
Yeah, Ferg's kind of stuck, I think.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Ferg's
take
done.
long to get.
I like Ferg better than Fitzy though.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
Ferg,
different.
Fergus, Ferguson. I don't know. Or
Yeah.
any of
Any
them.
version
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I like it because it's got
Greg.
no actual relevance.
Call it Greg from
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
No relevance.
Because I
Yeah.
text someone and it auto-corrected it to Greg.
Yeah. Scotty.
So
Nicknames
every now and then
evolving.
Greg comes out. Yeah.
The
Yep.
evolution of a nickname.
Yep.
Stoked.
Good.
Yeah.
What was the
Good.
from your nickname? What was the first?
Well, Dan always called me Mac10 because my last name is Machin, which is spelled M-A-C-H.
Yeah.
I was in high school. I had a sick nickname. It was Macca.
Oh, Macca.
Macca and Fitzy.
Yeah, two losers from the Central Coast.
Sounds like a 2UE fucking radio
Oh,
station.
Yeah.
And this afternoon
Well, that's
for
Fitzy
drive,
Whippering.
on drive home,
Yeah.
we've got Macca
But
and
yeah, so
Fitz.
Mac
Dan
and
called me
Fitzy.
Mac10 for years.
Yeah, okay.
And then when I moved down, he tried to get everyone to start calling me Mac10. And yeah, a mutual friend of ours who works at a different store rang and he's like, I was like, oh, hey, Scott. And he's like, what am I supposed to call you? Manhole? And I was like, I guess so.
Man.
Here
And
we
it was
are.
on loudspeaker and Dan was there.
Where
and
did
started laughing.
Hambone come from?
Chunk just started calling me Hambone one day.
Chunk,
Yeah.
we shouldn't have asked.
At trade
Yeah.
show, he just walks up. He's like, "Oh, Hambone." Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, I guess.
Yeah, I'll answer
Yeah.
to it. Fuck it.
But then dump truck came from the same sort of thing because Ed, who's just called, he Dan has obviously told him to call me manhole, and then he's come downstairs and he's like, "Oi, dump truck." I started laughing.
How
It's
the
like,
fuck did that get
I
Chinese
get dump truck
whispered?
from a few people. I get manhole from
Yeah.
a few people.
I remember when I first told man maybe it was Dan, was like, when you ring him,
Yeah.
call him dump
Yeah,
truck. And
yeah,
I'm like,
dump
I
truck,
can't
yeah.
call him dump
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
I'll
You're-
answer to anything. I don't really care.
But you are in my phone as Tim Hambone.
Yeah, you're in my phone as Tim Hambone too. And there's a very strange picture. Don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but it's strange.
It's just a ham bone.
No, it's like something very strange. I don't know why or how it got there. Probably
Maybe
Dunno.
Dan forwarded and you get the picture.
potentially.
Dan's, when Dan rings, it's just a Mexican dude.
Yeah.
He's in my
seen-
phone as muscles with an arm emoji.
Yeah.
Have you seen Dan's picture for Al?
No.
It's like,
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's his in as Alfred. Because like Dan and I
Oh,
were
it's
just
the Mad
having our
magazine, isn't it?
yeah, we're
Yeah,
having our
I
own
have
piss
seen that.
take, and Al and Dan and I were just talking shit, and then it just kind of stuck in Dan's phone, and he has no idea, and then he keeps calling. He goes, Alfred.
It was Alfred in my phone, which was
Yeah,
Dan's,
Dan's old phone.
Why are we talking about this guy? He's a dick. He made me help him move.
I've helped him move too.
And how did that go, Alan?
Yeah, I
Fucking
helped him
clearly
move.
need to just get rid of him out of our lives. He's a
There's-
pain in my
yeah.
ass.
Yeah,
Fucking Dan. Anyway,
yeah.
how did you get the job? And
Um,
why did you end up in Melbourne?
Six spot.
Six spot. Well, I've always wanted to move to Melbourne, but
Really?
yes, I did.
so she can start cooking sourdough.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I say things and Tim never listens. I
So-
definitely said that multiple
Yeah,
times.
probably.
You're a Central Coast person
Central Coast.
and you wanted to move to Melbourne.
Well, that's not. Okay, so I came back from Japan last
let
year.
me
I was there for
backtrack
like
here.
2
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
Yeah,
I need
and
the origin story.
Dan had obviously left in Feb.
Fucking Dan. If you
Fucking Dan.
mentioned too many times.
Yeah. So I came back to Oz in like April, I think. I was there for like a extended holiday. And then I don't know, it was a bunch of brands I like and for the job with Rome and Flux and Nidecker. And I was just kind of like, well, I'm either going to stay in retail for a bit longer or have a crack at this. So here I am.
Nice. How long were
Yeah.
you at ESS for?
Like nearly 2 years, I think. And then previous there, I was at Rhythm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How old are you?
26.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
So old.
what age did you start working in
Under this fucking
I
idiot.
in
think I
snow, like in the industry?
2021, I think.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So there you go. Because everyone always asks, how do you get in the industry? That's how you get in the industry. You get a
Yeah.
job in
Job
a
in
shop.
a shop
Yeah.
is the way to do anything,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
For sure. Because that's the, you meet everyone.
Yeah. What age did
Yeah.
you start in the industry?
Well, I did seasons and stuff when I was like 17 to 20 something. And then I came back from Canada and was like, I need a job. So I just went and did whatever. And I was doing like sheet metal work and stuff. Hated it. And
Sounds
then
laborious.
hated it. And then just learn how to weld, do all that sort of crap. And then was like, I really want to move to the UK. So me and my now wife moved over to the UK. She's like, oh, you're going to get a job welding? I was like, absolutely not. No fucking chance am I going to do that. She's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I just kind of want to go snowboarding, eh? So I'm going to try and get a job in a snowboard shop. We moved to Brighton. There was a surf shop there that sold snowboards. So I went there because I'm Australian and they think I know stuff about surfing.
Yeah.
And yeah, got a job there and then came home. And a guy I played hockey with was at the time running ESS. And he was trying to leave. So he's like, well, I'm trying to leave. So if you want a job, this is going to happen soon or whatever. He called me Homer Simpson. Because at the time I worked in a chemical factory. Which fucking sucked. It sucked so much. So yeah, he called me Homer Simpson.
Yeah. Coat of yellow paint, I can kind of see it.
Yeah. Just an idiot too.
Full blown.
And then, worked there for a bit, like 5 or 6 years or so. Just did all the buying and stuff like that. And then, during lockdown, obviously, someone had left Rush prior. His name was Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then COVID and lockdowns has happened. So they kind of pump the brakes on hiring someone.
Yeah, right.
And then, Dan kind of was looking out for me and was apply now, do this, say that. This is what you need to do. And
right. Jack was a lunatic.
Jack was
Jack
was sick. I like Jack too. I played golf with him.
He's a funny
It was
dude.
ages ago now. It's like probably last year, but it was good. He's getting into golf too.
Yeah, it was almost like when Amin left
Who?
Rush. Yeah, exactly. When he left Rush, it was like there hasn't been a mistake since. It's like Edwin, fuck, I can never let an absolute nightmare scenario like that happen again. So he's employed real
Couple of
characters.
legends.
Yeah. Setting Coast legend.
Legend after legend. And you're on a winning streak here.
He's nailed 3 in a
Elbows
row.
from Setting Coast.
3 in a row is pretty good. He just gets more from
You're
there.
just excluding Dan there, or
I said 3 in a row.
Jack?
Yeah, he's from
No,
Queensland
okay.
though.
Yeah, 4 in a row.
Okay, 4
Jack
in
was
a
a
row.
ledge.
Yeah,
I like
4
Jack.
in a row.
Jack's great.
Sorry, Jack. He won't watch this, I promise.
He's cybersecurity. He's
Yeah,
got bigger
right.
fish to fry than us
Yeah.
talking about
He
nothing.
can find this in
He'll find it.
Yeah, he'll find it on the dark web somewhere.
Yeah, he's just like Google searching.
He's
his
probably
name.
watching now.
It's true.
Logged in.
Somehow he's watching. Crazy. So, how do you define what your role is? Taylor's role.
We kind of split up by brands, but also sort of by account. But I don't know. I feel like we work together. On
I feel like you're
stuff.
becoming one person.
I hope not.
I'm trying to get a
I
shape
can
of
hope
head.
not.
I would pay to see that. That would
Yeah.
be so good. So, what
I
brands are
reckon
you
would look good
handling?
with a shaved head.
Yeah, you could.
Absolutely
You got a
not. Absolutely
See,
not.
we need more people to say that.
We
too.
don't know.
No.
We'll never know if you don't
Maybe
try.
one day
Yeah.
when it starts falling.
You're gonna
out,
have to
maybe.
shave the
What do you
beard.
mean when it starts
Yeah.
falling out? What, how's it going to
Maybe.
just fall
This is
out?
me with
Hey,
the
maybe
shaved-
it will.
shaved
You never
beard.
know. And if it doesn't, I won't have to. Perfect.
True. As long as you don't get radiotherapy.
Go
or
Yeah.
something.
snowboarding at Fukushima for a couple of
Why not?
Eat some fish
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the local
any
fishermen.
Pacific Ocean area.
Yeah, anything dodgy off the coast of Fukushima.
Um,
So what brands are you handling?
Nidecker, Flux, and Rome.
And you've got Jones.
Yep.
You've got
32.
I'm Flo.
And
No, so
Rome.
Flow has now
Oh,
come
no,
under.
Rome.
Flo.
Flow's come under the Nidecker banner.
Yeah.
Oh, is Flo called Nidecker now?
So not
Next-
in this one, but next
From
year's
November.
bindings are Nidecker.
Oh, so I'll put
bindings.
that Nescafe logo on it.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
How are they?
Yeah. When did Nescafe start?
I don't know. Probably not.
Not 1887, I don't think. Yeah.
Was it 1887? I
Tell
want
the
to say
Nidecker story.
1884.
I'll tell what I know of it, but it's,
What are we
it's a
telling?
long.
the Nidecker story.
Oh, please don't. Tell us the start.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you what I know, which
The
isn't
quick
much.
one.
So,
Yeah.
This would be good, man.
yeah, basically,
highlight reel.
started in 1887. They made like furniture, wood. Basically, it was a wood.
1887.
1887.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah.
3 years off.
Well,
Pretty
I
good
said it
overall.
before, and you didn't get it.
You said
after that.
1854, didn't you?
I said 1887.
Okay, 18
We can
anything is a
check it.
time that we can't wrap
Yeah,
our
it doesn't
heads
work in Australia.
No.
It works in Europe. It's not that far away in Europe.
around. No.
But just so on that, they're Swiss. Yeah, it was all wood, so they started making furniture and things like that. And then they got into like bending wood and making like wagon wheels. What are you laughing at?
It's just such a bizarre story.
There wasn't cars then.
Yeah, I know. I get it. It's just bizarre. that-
History, Alan.
Yeah,
Come on.
and then obviously that lent itself to making skis because skis are bent wood from that era.
Weird question.
Yeah,
Were they skiing in
Yeah,
1884?
that's
yeah,
my question.
Yeah, for sure, they were.
When
87.
was skiing invented?
1886.
80.
No, I don't know. No, I'm not sure. But they definitely were. Yeah, they're definitely skiing. It was obviously very different.
So they went from wood furniture to
imagine.
wagon wheels to skis.
Yeah, yep, basically.
To
And
then
then
snowboards.
they made skis for quite a while.
Yep.
And then,
Then jump 100 years.
150
yeah,
years.
pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's a
much.
long
And they've done lots of
while.
other little things in there, which I don't really know about. But then snowboarding happened, and Henry
Bizarre.
Senior, which is the dad of the 3 brothers that run it now, started to make snowboards, and they were huge in Europe for a very long time. And that was in about 1984 or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, then Henry Senior sort of retired, gave the business to his 3 sons, and they basically started it as we know it today. So owning
Everything.
Jones, Nidecker,
Yeah, right.
another
Rome
brand.
Battalion.
Yeah, they own
Low
Low
Pressure
Pressure Studios, which is
Studios.
Rome Battalion,
Can I ask?
And Soltec
and Soltec as of
as
very
of
recently.
3 days ago or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, you just said that here.
Yep.
Is it very public knowledge, or is it like
It's now
Soltec?
it is. Yeah.
like
There's
is
press
it,
releases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's,
okay.
it's out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Like, but they're not advertising it, but it's like it's
No,
public
so my
knowledge.
understanding, again, I don't know the finer details, but they, like Tailah said, they own Low Pressure Studios, which is Rome and Battalion. And basically, Low Pressure Studios still runs as Low Pressure Studios. So my understanding is Pierre's staying on as the CEO, I believe. And then it's going to run as Soltec, but they're just in charge of it, basically.
Okay,
They
so-
make a decision that kind of still has to be cleared through the Nideckers.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Interesting.
So I just wonder how long,
What percentage of the market, like in terms of brand wise, did Nidecker own
it'd
now?
be massive now.
They're probably the biggest snowboard company in the world now, I would say. Like Burton's obviously
Have to be.
the biggest singular brand.
Yeah, but Burton's in certain parts of the world is not
No,
particularly big.
but it's
They're big in certain parts.
they're big in the big
They're
markets.
big here.
Yeah.
And North America, they're quite big. Like they're big in the big markets.
Yeah.
Whereas Nidecker products, Jones, Rome Battalion, all those things, they've got really like Jones is starting to become a bit of a monster, and it's getting quite big everywhere because it speaks to older dudes basically who grew up like me, grew up snowboarding and got older and don't really do the same shit we used to, but just want to go snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say Nidecker, if it's not the biggest snowboard brand in the world, it's number 2.
Do you think the brand Nidecker can ever become what it should be?
I think it's on its way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in a pretty good spot at the moment.
I feel like the Supermatic, which is that binding back there somewhere, which is a step in.
Drop in.
that's- Yeah,
Drop in binding.
Drop in. It's a step in binding that has straps, so it still works.
Dual
It actually
dual
works
entry,
as a
some would
step in
say.
properly. Dual entry. But I thought it was going to tip them into sort of the vernacular a bit more, so people would know what Nidecker is. But 7 out of 10 people can't even say it.
Yeah, there's still so much more to it than that, which I think they're making the right steps in, and that's like signing bigger names,
Yeah.
getting more brand awareness in, snowboarding that's for the masses, like X Games, Olympics. There's going to be a couple of dudes who are in that now who are running Nidecker boards with big Nidecker plastered all over the bases. I don't know if any of these have it.
No.
Didn't they just get a new like Who just went to Nidecker?
Watch the
Craig
fucking
McMorris.
Mons
dominoes.
Royceland,
Taylor Gold, Craig
Craig
McMorris.
Morris.
No, in the like marketing or graphic department.
Tom Pelly.
Tom
That's,
Pelly.
yeah.
So he's US marketing manager.
Yeah, he's a North
Yeah.
American marketing manager.
Yeah.
and
it's
he's
got
hitting the ground running. He's doing
Yeah.
a
So
lot of
much
stuff over
potential
there.
to
Yeah,
be
and it's
massive.
getting there. Like their boot program is
Well, it's
crazy
now
good now.
got a brand too, right?
Yeah.
Now they've got 32. So
Yep. Yeah, but I don't think that really matters. I think they're going
Yeah.
to keep them separate because they are so different in
Yeah.
terms of who they're aiming at.
yeah.
And fit wise.
and fit-wise too, yeah.
So they're not going to mess with 32. You think it'll just be left to its own devices?
I hope not. For me, they could use the 32 thing to bring certain features into Nidecker and maybe vice versa.
yeah.
Like
They'll do
intuition
that, yeah.
liners and things like that. They now have access to all of that as well. So
That's kind of what they did with Flow, right?
yeah,
Flow's
Yeah.
still a thing, but it's
And-
become this Supermatic
yeah.
in a way.
Which
The
this was
text
designed
kind
by an
of
Australian guy.
Yeah.
yeah, I've
getting
heard
shared
that.
around, so
Yeah.
everything's being brought up
Yeah.
Yeah.
from
Like
all of those
Yep.
brands.
For
Sidekick
sure.
that's in Nidecker boards is in battalion boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's all kind of getting.
It's all sort of
same
in
with
the
a bit
family.
of Jones
Yep.
crossing over to Nidecker.
Rome Snowboards makes these straps, basically. Like they were the ones that
Yeah.
started these straps, and now they're filtered into Nidecker bindings, flow bindings.
So
Kind
the
of all that
Nidecker brand steals little bits out of everything they own.
Yeah, or they
It makes
put,
them really good value.
or
when
they
you think
put,
about
Yeah.
it.
But
or
it's
they
not-
put things that they've designed into brands they own also.
Right.
Yeah.
So the text being shared across
Yep.
all brands.
Well, I
So
guess the
all of those
manufacturing
brands.
thing.
are
To an
just-
extent, there's still things in, like, because Jones Snowboard's quite a free ride focused brand that's trying to aim at the premium end. They've got things in their boards that no one else in our brand family has.
Runs.
Yeah.
They try. Yeah. I
And
don't
same
know,
as
super
Nidecker,
interesting. It's like a really interesting collection of brands, I think. But then none of them stand out as average. Like there's no bad brand in
Yeah.
the group, which is really weird. You normally see like big companies absorb brands and you start going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like the
that's-
throw-ins. There's a couple of throw-in brands that they have to take
Yeah.
if they want to do that.
Yeah.
I think the thing is as well is like a lot of snowboard companies kind of come to Nidecker when they need some sort of help, but it's like Nidecker is owned by snowboarders, and a lot of the companies that we're taking on and helping is snowboard owned companies, and
Or
they don't want to just
skater-owned,
sell, or skater owned companies, and they don't want to just sell to like some private.
Yeah, a VF
Sort of-
Corp type job person or
Yeah.
whatever.
So is Nidecker independent?
Yep.
Still owned by that
Three,
family?
Family owned.
brothers, yeah.
Jesus, they
Yeah.
must have some.
Three brothers, and they're like, I think the oldest one's 37.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to
Crazy.
get on their
So
Christmas
it's,
list.
it's
Yeah.
a family.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Run
Henry
company.
Senior was the previous owner who sort of started the snowboarding and everything else, and then now there's three brothers. So there's Henry.
I think it's Henry the Third.
Yeah,
Third in the.
Interesting.
made
Yeah.
Anglican and so he could divorce his wife and everything else. But was that him? Was that Henry the Third?
I don't know.
It's Henry the something.
You're telling the
Henry the
story, mate. We're
Yeah,
just-
I don't know.
Yeah.
A few Henrys out there, but yeah, it's Henry, Xavier, and Cedric.
We have a Henry in the office
Yeah,
too.
we have Henry in the office, yeah.
There's a few Henrys out
Yeah.
there.
But yeah, so it's the three brothers, and basically, it's Cedric is like the CEO. Xavier is the Jones brand manager because that's becoming quite big on its own. So they've got their own designated brother for that.
Yeah.
And then Henry's just he's on. He's just always on.
Really?
And when I had dinner with him, and they were just, he's like, "Oh, I'll be in Sydney next week." I was like, "Oh, we'll be in Sydney like later next week." He goes, "Oh, I'm there for like 2 hours." It's just like, what? He goes, "Yeah, then I might go to Japan, and then I might just jump over here." And it's just like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? He's like, "Oh, I've got to do this deal with, I can't remember what it was, but something there." And then I just go see this guy. I was just like, man,
Yeah.
how old are you?
Yeah.
They
You're
also do a
alive.
bunch of other things too, like
Yeah, I rifle
you-
through
I
through
don't know.
people's cupboards when I go to their house.
It's
So I
it
went to the
started at
office.
Buller, I think.
I went to no.
No?
It's always done it, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So any Airbnb I go into, I look through every cupboard. It's like, I wonder what's in here.
Well, the
Warning
one in
to all
Buller-
Airbnb owners.
Yeah.
When we were at
I don't
Buller,
take anything, but yeah.
Just rifle through
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You were there when we were looking through cupboards at Buller, I think. Well,
Yeah.
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 Found
Found all
like
the
47 packets of gum. What's
Yeah.
going on here?
That's a strange
Yeah.
thing to find.
But yeah, I was rifling through cupboards at the Nidecker head office while we're sort of waiting for someone to come in, and there was just Nidecker pots and pans, like cookware and shit. And I was like,
Yeah, right.
okay.
So they're up to their neck in stuff.
Yeah, and they
Yep,
do bikes
they're always
somewhere.
they're always on. Yeah, I think they do make bikes in the Czech Republic or something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Bit
don't
on
quote
for
me on all
Nidecker.
that because I'm not 100% sure if that's exactly true. But
Flux is the only brand that you're doing that's not
and
Nidecker.
Spark. Now it's Flux and Spark.
Yeah.
Spark.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. So
Flux sick.
realistically,
Skateboarding's cool, Alan.
right.
It's American-made bindings.
American made. Oh, cool.
Well, I mean, it's better than some of the other
Countries.
Brands you
What
have
are we saying?
downstairs.
Let's get into this.
who own
Better than what?
Yeah, we all know.
We all know.
We're not allowed to say it. We'll have a war.
I don't think this podcast can start any international conflicts. I can't say it.
Tensions,
there.
No
are,
government's
tensions
still
are high.
But a lot of
But yeah.
Yeah. So most of it's
Interesting.
Nidecker now.
It is now, yeah, as of 3 days ago or
That's
whatever.
landed quite nicely.
Yeah.
That's good. At
makes
least
it
there was
easier
no
for
big
us.
shift with the 32 thing. I guess
Yeah.
Well, there will be in parts of the world, I would assume.
yeah, massively, I would say.
Because there's a few. Well, I know the distro in Canada for 32 is not a Nidecker affiliated
No, right.
distro.
I guess the other three brands that they have are very affected.
Yeah, they're probably the ones that are going to be most affected.
For those who don't know, Soltec is Etnies ES America 32. And that was always done in Australia. The three footwear brands were done separately to the snowboard brands. So, yeah, one's a distro model and one
in
was
the
a
States,
direct.
they're done together.
Yeah, they have different sales managers
And stuff like that. But
so
like
the
the
guy I reporting
factories-
to,
the
believe-
warehouse.
I think the warehouse
Because
is
it's the
together. They
same,
have a head
yeah.
off, like a Salt. Well, they had a Soltec head office.
Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
all in California.
Yeah.
Burwood,
I went
yeah.
there once.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hopefully it's a good thing. Be sad to see the three footwear brands get messed with, but
yeah.
I think
mean,
two of those three are arguably unsustainable, just quietly.
Yeah, I mean, grew up skateboarding. I wore a fuck ton of the Sal 23 Etnies, and then when they were S's, I wore a fuck ton of them at S as well.
Yeah, I lived
Yeah.
in the early Costin models.
Yeah, cost them ones, were unreal.
Ronnie Krieger shoes. So they've
So you
got
and
some
I
cool
go,
heritage.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
That's like
really
all I
cool.
skated in.
Yeah.
And then
They were the coolest
couple
shit
of
in
pairs of
skateboarding.
D3s because that's just what you do. But
Helium.
you look back on that and go, well, I shouldn't have done that.
But yeah, ES and America were the coolest shoes you could get
Yeah.
when we were coming up. They were the shit, especially in the early 90s through to, I guess, the late 90s, early 2000s. They were the best shoes. on
Do you
the market.
think this is a huge shift because skateboarding is now so globally recognized as a sport, whereas back then we were all just kind of scumbags breaking into schools to skate stairs?
Do you
and
want
shit?
me to have a rant on skateboarding? and the
Absolutely.
state
Hell
of
yeah,
it?
we do.
Yeah.
I have so many opinions, but skateboarding has evolved into something that I bet. How old were you when you started skating?
9?
Okay, so
or
9-year-old
9, yeah.
Tim or 10-year-old Tim or whatever,
Yeah.
and 11-year-old Al, I wouldn't be drawn to it anymore.
No, me either.
It just has no appeal because I turn on the TV. I flicked on to watch F1 the other day and it was running late or something, and there was Street League on and there was like a 5 or 6 stair handrail and 5-6 girls standing at the top of the handrail, and 2 of the 6 girls were wearing crop tops that said, one said Santa Cruz and one said Vans, I think. And I was just like, fuck, the visual of that.
Well, it's
How does that
athletic now,
appeal?
isn't it?
How does that appeal to a 12-year-old kid who's a bit introverted or hasn't found himself yet or whatever, and doesn't want to play cricket?
Yeah.
Then skateboarding doesn't look like an alternative. It looks like cricket. It
Yeah.
looks like soccer. It looks like a team thing.
And then you could also throw up like the photo that we have of all of our team guys, 5 years, 10 years ago, of them all loose at that mini ramp comp, all in midriffs. And like, if you're talking about a young kid, they'd look at that and go, I want to be
That's
like
fucking
those guys.
punk rock
They're like,
shit.
they're
that's
saying,
that's
fuck
like a
society,
crew sort
fuck
of thing.
rules, fuck following trends, fuck all
They
this.
did it as a
Well,
piss take.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, you think back, this is a bit of a weird one, but surf, dive, and ski used to just have the skateboarding is not a crime stickers, and they were everywhere.
Yeah.
You just you go in there and buy a deck or something. They give you 1 million of them. You just put them up in schools and loading docks. And
You know what? There's
Someone said that to
the
me.
end of my. If you want my rant to just not exist, and I'll go from the start to the finish in two sentences. Skateboarding is not a crime.
Yeah.
now they desperately need to make a sticker that says "Make skateboarding a crime again."
Yeah.
Because that's what the difference is between what core skateboarding was and what it is today. It's so socially accepted to skate. You don't even get chased out of spots. It's not like the old days. They kind of a security guard will stand there and watch.
Like when I was a kid, because there was no skate parks, there was one in Gossie, and that's kind of it. So you go break into schools.
Yeah.
But you're not breaking in to be a pest and wreck shit. You're just like, well, there's a six stair in there that I want to go and try and kickflip. So you go break into a school for a day.
Can't do it during school hours.
Yeah. So then, we had one school where I grew up that was cool, and the principal had let us in, and she was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And she was like an older lady, and I don't know. We'd always just go in there, and she'd be in there, and she was like, "Oh, you guys aren't gonna wreck anything, are you?" Like, nah, just want to get this ledge. And she's like, "Okay, sweet." But then other schools you go into, you're in there for 5 minutes, and police are there, and there's cops, and you're just like,
it's just gone in a weird direction. Like you've got, I mean, the whole Soltec thing's a really good example. I'd imagine, I don't know anything about the financial situation of Soltec, but I would imagine they were in a world of trouble because Pierre's hung on through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm guessing that the footwear brands were bailed out more than sold. I'm guessing that the whole thing was more of a bailout.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not privy to it either, but I mean, maybe later on we might see what happened. But it seems to me like when you've got Nike, Adidas, Asics now, New Balance, these guys are footwear giants. They're the biggest sports footwear brands in the world.
Yep.
How can these little brands,
family-owned brands still, or independent operators, basically?
it's barely possible for us to see. Like you're seeing, we're watching Vans struggling, Converse, which is Nike-owned, it's struggling. Lakai, which is independent, it is nearly impossible to sell. Then you've got Etnies ES America, I guess, are the last independent brands. And I mean, as a bare minimum, if I was the Nidecker group, I'd be going, get rid of two of them. Just focus on one and do it well. Get all the athletes that you've got on the one brand and do it properly.
But the thing back in the day, too, with those three brands they were such different people.
Yeah.
Like S was your
100%.
baggy gangster guy. America was kind of your Reynolds, almost skinny jeans, Dakota Servold. And then Etnies was kind of the rest.
That's gone from skateboarding too.
Yeah.
They all look the same. Like, and when I say we, I guess, all look the same. We're all following a trend. It's not a very big
skateboarding culture is mainstream now, whereas it was just, I want baggy pants so I can move.
Yeah.
So when I jump down something, if I need to fuck off, like, I can get my legs moving and get out of there.
Yeah, it's more fashion based than ever, really.
But how many people look like a skater that have probably never even put foot on a skateboard?
I'd say 80% of people that look like a skater have never skated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal though. That's always been.
Yeah.
There's always been fashion's followed skateboarding. Now I think skateboarding is locked in with fashion.
Yeah, it's like dipping in and out.
Yeah, they collide all the time by accident, whereas it used to be, oh, that kid's cool, and then all of a sudden the surf shops would be selling what that kid was wearing, and the skater would move on to something new. They pushed it so far that there's nowhere to go. Like they've just run out of room. And to be honest, I mean, I think the four big brands that make shoes are doing a really good job of. They don't. Some of them.
They have the money
others, but they
to
look
put into the tech and the style, and they also have money to put back into
marketing.
And
paid skate is probably what they're worth now.
They
as well.
actually pay them properly. So that's been a big change.
So you kind of can't argue it. At the
No,
end
you
of the
can't
day.
at all. But it's such a different world of skateboarding now that, like you said, it would. If I was a kid now, and I wasn't super introverted as a kid. I'm more introverted as an adult than I was as a kid. But I don't know. There was just something about that whole going and feeling like you were causing trouble, but you weren't really doing anything wrong. That was just heaps of fun. Yeah. Getting chased by people and just
there was something. There was just
not
something
conforming
about
to
it.
society. Not conforming to the
that's
rules.
kind of what it was.
Like,
And it was.
I'm going to break the rule of like breaking into something, but I'm not going to cause ruckus.
I'm not
or,
breaking.
like,
I'm not a
fucking
loser. I'm not a
breaking
prick.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to graffiti
hang
or
this
like
fence is the barrier to what I want to do, and I'm just going to go over
climb
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was always about not having a coach or someone telling me what to do. And,
Yeah.
and that's all part of it now too.
It's snowboarding also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All coaches, yeah.
We just taught ourselves. There was no instructors when we started.
No.
It was just a bunch
What
of
age
kids.
did you guys start snowboarding?
I was 16, so 10 years ago this year.
I was in year 9. I don't know how old you are in year 9.
15,
Yeah.
14, 15?
So I went
Yeah.
for like human movement or something in school.
Yeah.
You did it through school?
Yeah, went through school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine was a school trip.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Most kids' first time seeing the snow is through school.
Yeah.
They just go on a
Yeah.
excursion.
I was like,
Yeah, I
I'll
would have been
go.
15 for sure, because then I went the next year with a buddy, and then I did a season, left school to do a season when I was 17.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I was like, I'll go see snow, and then I'm gonna go do summer things because I'm a summer gal from the Central Coast, and then I went snowboarding, and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty fun.
I'm a summer girl.
Yeah, this is actually really
In
cool.
my head, it was like, this is like skateboarding, but fuck, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that was huge for me
Yeah.
too. It was like, holy shit, this is so easy compared
Yeah.
to skateboarding.
Because again,
Yeah.
growing up
Yeah.
skateboarding, it was like, the only thing you could skate was like 9 stairs.
Yeah, there
You
was
know,
nothing to
I'm going to
skate.
ollie down it because I can't kickflip yet, because all we do is go and skate this 9 stairs.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big fucking thing to learn.
Yeah, and he's
to
like,
kick
well, I know
flip
how to
that.
ollie, so I just go real fast and ollie.
Yeah, that was a huge appeal for me with snowboarding in the early days. Was like, holy shit, I can be good at this.
Yeah.
I was like average at skateboarding, but I could be
Same,
good
yeah.
at this snowboarding gig because it's not half as dangerous.
Yeah.
I was like, a fucking board doesn't get away from me. I'm not going to land on it primo. I'm not going to
Yeah.
nut myself. There
No
were so
concrete.
many things where I was like, oh,
If I do a lip slide, I'm not going to leave the tail behind or
No.
something and just nut myself on a rail
yeah,
because
that
there's
was
a board
huge
there.
for me. It was like, I can do stuff on this board and look better than the average guy straight away. So
Yeah.
it had a huge appeal to me. That was the Marcus's story was similar to you, Stockers. He was a summer guy, went to the snow and then just instantly fell
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
love.
it's
with it.
surfers
It's
and
like-
skaters usually, I think, that do fall in love with it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're like, surfers are like, I can surf
Yeah.
in the cold and doesn't have to be good all the
Yeah,
time.
it's also of the 3 sports, it's by far the easiest. To
Oh
get
yeah,
good
miles.
at. Like,
You're not relying on anything
No.
else as well.
Yeah.
Skateboard leaves your feet.
Yeah.
Surfing, if there's no waves, it's hard.
yeah.
Snowboarding
definitely goes.
There just needs to be snow on the ground and it's fun.
Yeah,
And
100%.
like
Yeah.
minimal
Yeah.
snow too. Like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
need a lot of it to have fun.
Yeah, look at some
Yeah.
of this, like, look at some of the street rail guys. They just get a strip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
I
just
feel like,
need a
we were
bit
talking
of-
about this
Yeah.
bit of
yesterday. I
ice.
feel like you go to Minnesota,
Yeah.
there's tons of kids who are sick on rails, but they can't turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you put
They
them
try to
somewhere in a
co-road
steep, like they're sick on rails.
Yeah.
And then you put them on a mountain and they're like, whoa,
Oh.
what do I do here?
Yeah, we talked about this with that. Remember the modest trip? We were in Japan in Hakuba, and we were at Cortina, and it was puking. We were with Cam from MSC,
Yeah.
and we met up with the Fawcett boys and Benny and Freddie, and the whole modest team were there. It was one of the most epic powder days. It wasn't crazy crowded. It was like you were just riding waist deep snow, and half the modest team wanted to leave and go ride a rail in
Yeah.
town.
My first
Yeah.
trip to Japan when I was like 19, I took a shovel took an avalanche shovel because I was like, yeah, sweet, I need a shovel to dig rails out.
Yeah, it's
You get there, you get to the
Interesting.
park before the park guys is like, well, dig these out for him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a really
Just
weird.
an idiot,
Yeah,
basically.
it's a really weird paradox
Yeah.
that snowboarding has, where some people just do it for the skateboarding side of it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
others, like as I've got older, I couldn't care less about the park.
No, me
Yeah.
I don't
either.
look
Not
at
at
it.
all.
I still like the park.
I'll ride
Yeah,
through
too.
it, but
Yeah.
I
For
don't
me,
care
like
about
I
it.
grew up with brothers and who skateboarded and like
You're
he's the
also
guy-
not old.
Yeah. There is that.
Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was like a way that I could hang out with those guys too. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I can keep up with them. I can go hang in the park
Yeah.
and try my own shit. Like,
Yeah.
whereas like I don't skate. Like I
Yeah.
can ride a skateboard, but
Yeah, not jumping down shit or riding bowls or whatever.
yeah.
It's like a risk over reward, I think, because with snowboarding, it's like, I feel like there's less risk sometimes, whereas skateboarding, it's like there's fucking concrete
Oh, yeah.
underneath your feet. Like, that shit hurts.
Stairs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get
The
broken.
amount of
so-
ankles
Yeah.
you roll downstairs. Like my ankles are so shit now because you jump down something and they just land half on a board and it's just fold and you go, good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Ankles this big for the next 6 weeks.
Such a tough subject for me to talk about ankles.
I've never had too many. I mean, touch wood. I've never had too many like horrific injuries.
We
skateboarding.
always talk about injuries on here. Go.
Let's
what
go.
do you-
What's your worst injury?
I tore my hamstring.
Oh, that's
fucking
pretty.
sucks.
They're
Yeah.
pretty good. They hurt.
Just doing a fucking nose press. just on the snow.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I was like, I did it, and I was like,
you should have stopped
that feels
it.
a little bit weird. I know, embarrassing, whatever.
Really tore a hamstring just doing
Yeah, I was like that. I think what it was
It's your
is
front
I
leg
did
or your
it,
back leg?
and I felt it, and it was my
Have to
back
be
leg.
back, yeah. Where you're
Yeah.
dragging it up, yeah.
Anyway, I was like, oh, it feels a bit weird. I'm gonna keep snowboarding, whatever.
well, that's
I just kept
never
riding for the rest of the week.
So it probably
I was in
wasn't
Japan.
torn from a
Probably
nose
wasn't
press.
torn, it was
And
fine.
then
Yeah,
you
that was-
continue to tear
That
it.
was
yeah.
the start of it.
Yeah.
And then I went home and then went to see someone, and I'm like, yeah, it's like a 2 to 3 grade tear. And
Yeah,
I was
right.
like,
Shit.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
right. Probably wasn't.
Haven't done that before.
At first,
Yeah,
if
but
you'd stopped.
Yeah.
Hamstrings hurt.
Yep.
Oh
Done
yeah.
a few of them. They're not good.
I got a segment out of mine.
I'm the most immobile man on earth.
So it's hard to tear things.
Never torn a hamstring.
It's probably because they don't.
At hockey, every now and then I'll stretch, and first shift I go, ooh, that's a bit tight. What do you stretch for? Like, yeah.
Have you had any bad injuries?
Nothing that's been like crazy debilitating. And dislocated my kneecap twice.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, and just mush it back in.
I
And
fucking love people who come on here. It's been every time it's like, oh yeah, I just done this.
Normal people would go, are you fucking
That's why I
kidding
love
me?
talking to skateboarders and snowboarders because they're like, oh, nothing really bad. I've dislocated my kneecap twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad for most people.
Mine was,
Yeah.
mine was on a
Most
box.
people,
If it was Dan,
Yeah, it was Dan. The world would have
I wonder if
ended.
he's ever had any injuries.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Has he? Oh, yeah, actually, I know of a few. Yeah.
Breathed in once and had to cough afterwards and threw his back up. But yeah,
tell
so
us the
dislocated.
shoulder story.
Breathed in once and have to cough.
But yeah, that dislocated my kneecap. One of my second season, I think it was, at Throbbo. And it was like when boxes were a new thing.
Yeah.
And I was learning like 270s onto boxes. And I just landed like this and my knee just went. And I remember coming off, eating shit, coming off and just being like, my knee feels heaps weird, eh? My buddy's like, what do you mean? I was just like, don't feel right.
It's not where
Roll
it
my
meant to
pants
be.
up, my kneecaps like here. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's funny how quickly you push your
Yeah.
dislocations
Back in.
back in.
Yeah, same, I remember dislocating this finger skating.
You'll just grab it.
And
like
I
out of
remember I tried to do
Oh.
I've never been able to backflip on a skateboard, but I could backflip on a snowboard. So I was like,
There
I'm
you
going to try
go.
a backflip
There
on
you
the
go,
rail.
kids.
Yeah.
Much easier.
Yeah. And I got on, which I was pretty impressed with, but then kicked out and fell and put my hand down and my finger just went.
Oh.
And I remember going to my same friend, actually. I remember going, oh, like this. And he's just like, what are you going to do? And I just went, and now I wake up in the middle of the night and it's sort of sideways. And I'm like, oh, my finger's out.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
get,
jamming
it all gets a bit loose. We had a staff member once.
Yeah, he was doing he was tightening a truck, an axle. And he like popped his wrist out and he's like, shit, my wrist. And I was standing next to him and I went, try unloosening it. Like, and then you
Go the other way.
try undo the nut. And he like put the T-tool back on with his busted wrist and was like,
popped back in.
Pop back in. I was like, here you
like-
go.
Skateboarders are so
He
broken.
just like turned to me. He's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck do I do?
The most simple things they do, and they pop a wrist down. And
He was doing an ollie.
was it Norfolk
It was not.
broke his finger, and his finger was on a.
Because he was fighting Clinton in the
Yeah,
shop.
that's right. Those two idiots were having a fight. Like they were just staff members having a fight, and he fake punched and broke his finger. And he's run over to me and he's gone, man, can you put it back in? Can you put it back in? And I'm looking at it going, that looks fucking gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, grabbed it, and he's screaming, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. And I pull on it a bit, and the noise that came out of him was like proper horror movie noises. And I'm like, man, I think you should probably just go see a doctor. Don't know if I'm the guy for this. And he went, and he had like snapped the bone in half. So he was asking me to grab.
Oh, so you're trying to reset something
trying to-
that's not dislocated,
Nah.
essentially.
Dislocated.
Yeah.
I said when I saw it, I'm like, ugh, that looks a little worse than most of
Yeah.
the dislocations I've seen.
When I did my finger, we were at a place called Lake Haven, which there's a rec centre.
Place called Lake
Yeah,
Haven.
it's a good spot.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, lovely part of the world.
Yeah.
Central Coast.
Lake Haven.
Beautiful.
There's a rec centre there. It's Lake Hole, is what we know now.
Yeah.
But there's a rec centre, and I was like, yeah. My mum played netball. I spent shit tons of time as a kid there, just running around being a pest. And I was like, yeah, they
Try
tape
it.
their fingers together and shit. So I was like running. I was like, you got any tape? She's like, what for? I was like, this. It's like this. She's like, oh my God.
It's good.
Taped them up. Skated for another bit and felt sick about 3 hours later.
Yeah. It's funny how you
adrenaline
can
wears
push through that stuff. Yeah, pain tolerance goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
mine's
also
still
the
high.
human body goes into shock.
Yeah.
And so you don't feel the pain until like 2 hours later, 3 hours later.
Depends on the injury. You can, because you push through so much when you're skating, you tend to just build up a pain tolerance.
When you skate a lot, you're rarely 100%.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
Almost never. It's crazy. I've started a new sport, climbing. They're the same. They're all the same. Like, I've noticed after probably a month of doing it, I'm like, these guys are all talking about the injuries that they currently have.
Yeah.
And
It's like-
doing nothing
And they're
about
all
it.
fucking, they all throw a bit of tape on and keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you come in and like, oh, I just looked at my shoulder
Yeah.
like 2 hours ago, and you're like, oh,
What?
okay.
What are you
And they're
doing
like,
here?
okay, so I'm just gonna do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. I was there. I'm
It's same with snowboarding.
finding that I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm climbing going, fuck that, Achilles is bad. It's getting worse and worse. And I just keep going. I don't care. It's a weird thing. They're all, the difference between a skater and a climber is that a climber is incredibly good at assessing the injury and doing nothing about it, whereas a skater just completely ignores
Yeah.
the fact
Doesn't
that
assess
they're
it,
injured.
just
If
goes.
I go to the doctor, they're going to tell me
Yeah.
I've got a broken ankle and I won't be able to skate.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to
exactly.
keep skating and
Yeah.
you know, figure it out later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
but
that-
they're gonna tell me
mate.
something. All they're gonna tell me is to rest
Yeah.
and not skate
Yeah.
or not snowboard.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. If they don't tell me, it's not broken.
My
Exactly.
first,
If I don't know, I don't
It's
know.
the Donald Trump
Yeah.
COVID effect. You don't get COVID if you don't test.
Yeah, if you're not testing, you don't know. Ah, it's crazy. Far out. So what are the highlights for this year, do you reckon, product-wise? Is there anything that stands out? There's all the boards behind us are.
The Surf Series graphic for me is unreal.
That graphic's unreal.
Yeah.
It's killer.
This guy's a new one, which I think
base of that's sick
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. What is the alley cat? Tell us a
It's
bit about
actually
that.
Rally Cat. It was
It's
the
Rally
other day.
Oh, right.
They've
The
stuck a
sticker's
sticker
covering.
over the top of it.
The sticker's
yeah,
covering.
But it's
Yeah.
Rally Cat. So it's just our entry level board now. So
So is it? Oh, it's just a general board. It's not
Would
a
you like to
park
talk about it?
Part
No, not
specific
heaps.
boards.
Nah.
It's a snowboard.
it's just
No.
$750, which is a different price point for Jones for sure, being a premium brand.
Also got camber.
Camber, which all Jones boards have. Sintered base, which is good
Yeah.
for that price point.
Doesn't really look like a Jones board.
No, it doesn't.
be
And
fair.
that's the point, kind of. Younger. All the graphics are a little bit younger this year than maybe what they have been in the past. But
Yeah, it's cool.
there's been some
They're
clips coming out of this
expanding
of
the
people riding it hard, which I was like, oh, yeah, it's like a beginner board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Jimmy Goodman and stuff are doing McTwists on
Yeah,
side
Nate
hits
Bromley
and stuff.
was
And stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dropping cliffs and
so
Good on
shit.
you.
it can live. It can handle.
yeah.
It's good.
Been received heaps well.
I like it. I wish it wasn't orange, but I like it.
No,
The
I like
orange
the
has grown
orange.
on me.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when we first saw it. I kind of like the women's one heaps. It's kind of like a magenta-y, pinky, purpley color.
Not as orange.
Yeah, it's definitely less orange.
Definitely not orange. Yeah.
Definitely less orange.
More of a
But, yeah.
magenta, some would say.
Yeah, I think they'll do pretty good.
Yeah, cool. So that's your highlight product, the Surf Series and the Rally Cat.
Yeah, I like
Do you
the
wanna
surf
do a-
series.
Brief rundown. Do you want to talk about
If
anything?
I have
No,
to.
don't. Let's not.
I'll go all weird.
No one
Well, then
cares.
what-
The people
what do you
listening
ride?
to this don't
I
fucking
ride-
care. That's a better question. What do you
So
ride?
if I was going to Japan and there was one board, I could only take one board, it would be the Mind Expander.
Yeah, I've done that in the past.
Yeah. I
What's-
like that they've put camber in it. Sort of 3 years ago,
that
they
was
put
my
camber in it.
question.
And to me, it's less of a surfboard now and more of a snowboard.
Yeah, I just.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you like it as a surfboard. It's fine. I've got friends that are exactly the same.
I loved it as it was.
But to me, like, where I struggled with the old one a bit was getting out of the side country and getting on those shitty goat tracks that are lumpy and bumpy. I just felt like it didn't track where I wanted it to track because the nose just wanted to go wherever it wanted to go. Whereas now it's got camber, you can just decamber the board and use the entire effective edge,
Yeah.
which is more what I want. It's probably
Yeah,
not going to
maybe. I
float
mean,
like it
look,
was.
I just love that old board.
Yeah.
I've still got 2 of them, I think. So I bought one because I loved it, and then someone fucking wrecked it, and I bought another one. So
Who's Dan?
it's just one of the skater kids. That
Blame Dan anyway.
your skater kid comes and borrows your board and comes back with a hole in it, and you're like, "Fuck, are you serious, dude?"
Sweet.
But yeah, so I still love it. I rode it last time we were in Japan with Cam, and
Yeah, we both have the old
Yep.
version.
Have you tried the new one?
No, I haven't either.
I mean, it performs infinitely better here.
Yeah.
So again, if I was to not be fortunate and be in the position I'm in where I can ride anything,
Yeah.
pretty much from any brand really, if I
Yeah.
want as well, that might be one of the boards that I would have,
That
I would ride regularly.
own?
Yeah, that I would spend money on to ride.
Yeah. I always
Yeah.
think it's the
Whereas-
most interesting question is what board would you own?
Yeah.
Because then you've got to part with some money. I only own a few boards. I don't own
I own
enough
Yeah.
boards.
Fuck ton
Yeah.
of boards.
Yeah. I own a lot if you count the ones that I don't
Yeah.
ride anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't normally have more than a board or two that I
Yeah.
Oh,
consider mine and get protective about if someone wants to borrow
I want to get more beers. Does anyone want a beer?
it. Yeah,
Go
I'll
for
get
it.
Can I get your beers?
I'll get it. What do you want?
Whatever.
Don't
Whatever's going.
Hazy, please.
Hazy
I
fantasy.
really like that.
it's a good one,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
This
that
is
is
also
pretty
good,
nice.
This
but
Mexican one's really good.
It's got to be hot for me to be into a
yeah.
cerveza,
Really?
or I've got to have done heaps of hard work.
I've
And
done
I-
heaps
and I
of
wanna
hard work.
just-
Yeah,
I just want to feed it into me, sort of
had a
thing.
pretty big day.
Yeah, big day driving
Big
around.
day.
If you are scared, we're on holiday, so it's great.
Yeah.
There's
I think
Hazy's.
so on
Thank you.
holidays.
Wow, these
Thank
freshwater
you.
brewery beers are great.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of
Al was
some.
standing in front of the camera.
Can't use that. Say it again, Tim.
Wow, these freshwater brewery beers are great.
That didn't seem set up at all.
They are good though. I reckon I could eat.
I could eat 27 of them.
can
I
eat a
reckon
lot
I
of
could
these.
drink probably 30 of them pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're
That's
good.
not
eh?
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
really
probably
stoked.
couldn't do 30, but
Stoked that we are doing
Yeah.
stuff with them. We're having a party there. I think, will
So
this
that's
be out
what-
before the
this was my
party?
question to Neil before was we're actually having a welcome to winter party at their venue next week, next Friday.
Which
this
may
Friday.
or may not
Wait, this
be
Friday.
relevant if
Tomorrow?
this doesn't come
No,
out
no, no.
before
oh,
next
that's my
Friday.
weekend.
Our
Uh,
next week.
Probably
viewers
should say the
this
date.
Week.
Oh, yeah, okay.
June the 8th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Better,
makes more
better
sense.
say it
Yeah.
that way because fuck
June-
knows when
I
this is
swear to
coming
God,
out.
me and
Yeah.
Dan used to
It's
sit
the
around and
7th.
argue about what next Friday is. Is it next Friday or is it Friday week?
It's the next.
Yeah.
It's the next Friday.
But that's
gonna
tomorrow.
Come up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think next Friday is the
yeah.
If
following
we,
week.
if we were talking about it right now, I'd say it's next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember my
Because
point
tomorrow
was.
would
Me
be
and Dan
this
would always
Friday.
just argue for
Yeah.
the sake of arguing.
Yeah, I'd do that with
But
you.
if it was yesterday, would next Friday still be? This is the
No,
Friday
that would
that's
be
coming?
this
That, to
Friday.
me, that's this Friday.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Friday's this Friday.
And then it's the next
Yeah.
one after
But
that.
on
and
Saturday-
then Friday week is.
Yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
out of the week you're in to call something next.
So on
Yeah.
Saturday, the following Friday is next Friday?
No, I reckon
Or is
Monday.
it this Friday?
Monday to Thursday. It's
This
this.
Friday.
It's
Yeah.
this
I think
Friday,
it's this
and
Friday.
This
next
Friday.
Friday is the following
It'd probably
week.
be for me.
Saturday
Friday.
fun. Saturday.
This
Sunday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday. Saturday.
This is a
Sunday.
shit topic of conversation.
Yeah. Saturday, Sunday of that week, and the Friday is gone.
Incredibly poor.
Think you can get
podcast.
away saying this Friday,
Yeah. I
like
would.
this coming Friday.
I don't know. I hate it.
Say whatever you want.
Yeah,
The
say whatever
reality
you want, I don't
is-
care. Probably
Just
not.
give them a date.
Yeah.
It's Friday the 7th.
8th, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm pretty
Friday,
sure it's
isn't it? Saturday?
No, it's
Friday night.
seven.
Oh shit!
I
You
think
can
it's the
tell
7th.
once again who's done the
I
organising.
think it's the 7th because it'd be Saturday 8th, Sunday
Yeah.
9th,
I
Monday
get that.
feel
10th.
that.
I get that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's the 7th.
Sweet, good. I'm glad not
Yeah.
just me.
Yep.
Fuck,
Bloody
this
well.
podcast has gone so off the rails multiple
What
times.
did you want, Alan?
No, I knew this was what would happen. She calls me Alan. Have you noticed
Yeah,
that?
I love it.
I don't get it. I'm like,
No one
What do you
calls
want me
me
to call you?
I'll go through the shop and I'll be like,
Mav.
Ellen, Ellen,
Maverick.
Ellen,
I
Ellen.
know it's Steve.
It's my least favourite name, and it's my
Alan.
actual name. Yeah. I don't
Casper?
normally.
Is that what you want?
No.
What do you want?
Cass.
Do you reckon you just like morphed into
Just
this
Al.
Big
into
Al.
this
Nah,
persona
just
of
Al.
Al? Big gay Al. Big Al.
Yeah.
What's the thing on South Park?
Big gay Al.
Yeah, it's big gay. Al, yeah, he's got like an arc of animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time a character gets called Alan or Al, I hear about it a lot.
Yeah.
That's why you
Timmy.
like F1.
Come here.
Still get that.
Yeah.
Got that for 25
I got
years.
Big Gay Al for a long time
Yeah.
too, don't worry. I also got Alan.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck off.
I would have just called you Steve.
Yeah.
Just to
Well,
cut the whole Alan thing
Yeah.
out.
I used to reply with Steve.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Hated that thing so much. One of my best friends does it to me still.
Yeah.
Bitch. Penny. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go, Penny. From what was that from? Big Bang Theory.
Oh, Big Bang, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Anyway, this has gone so...
what do you ride?
Yeah, we never got to the
I
part
had
2.
some Rome boards.
Rome,
Yeah.
fucking garbage.
You just said Nidecker do really good brands. So
Yeah, well, maybe...
eat your shoe, Alan.
To be honest, I don't...
realised yet. I was a little bit hypocritical.
Opinionated too.
Fine.
I don't dislike the brand Rome. I just have been a big doubter of their graphics for the last 10 years, but they've come
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they're
I
changing.
actually think they've kind of come good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit of a
They've definitely come
rebrand.
through the other side a little
Yeah.
bit, for sure.
Yeah. They've,
The last
They
set of
needed
graphics
it.
we saw were very good.
The stark reality of that overprint thing they were doing forever was just like, come on, guys. Fuck, it's time.
Yeah.
You loved Rome bindings.
I
Yeah.
They're
Years.
still so good.
absolutely loved Rome bindings. I went off them the moment they took that rubber thing away.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. The thing that pulled the strap open.
out. I was like, why would you take that away? And for years they left the little tooth there.
The hook on the...
Yeah.
It might
Yeah.
still be...
Really? We don't have them.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you doing? How much is that? 30-cent part. And they took it off. I never could wrap my head around it. That upset me a lot. That was
remember-
back years ago, though.
Yeah, I remember when
Move on, Alan.
Hey,
Move
wow.
on.
I remember when it happened. I was like,
Got
"Do
something
you need
for
spare
you."
straps?
Look at this.
Yeah, that looks
Wow.
good. Works quite well.
New ones have it on the toe too, but this isn't a new one.
Yeah, you're not going to get me on
Well, it's
bindings, I'm
current.
afraid.
New is next.
settled.
I'm settled in a binding, unfortunately, for
Who
you
owns
guys.
it?
Who owns it? I don't care.
So hypocritical.
Possibly. I never said shit. It was him who was.
Oh, it's just a little
He was
simple
going to
question.
start an international conflict, not me. I
Skateboard
don't know.
brands are owned by-
Yeah.
Conflict.
That would be
Sort of
so
sitting there,
good.
ooh,
Oh shit! We
fuck,
started
yeah.
an international conflict,
Geez, that's just talking shit. And...
and now there's nukes getting thrown at each other. Yeah, I don't know who owns it. The Google
You just
doesn't.
pretend to be oblivious.
It's just
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
fine, Alan.
Hey, they're good. You
Okay.
can't feel them. They're amazing.
Okay,
that a
interesting.
good selling point?
Interesting.
Have you ever ridden
It
them?
is.
I have,
Do you
yeah.
want to feel your
I
body?
rode them for a while. I don't mind.
There's not a person in this industry.
They're
There's
free
not a
agents.
person in this industry that at some point in time hasn't ridden a product from said company
Yeah.
and loved it. The Derby,
Yeah.
I don't think I've
The
ever
original
ridden.
Derby was unreal.
fucking unreal.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them down there too. I
Yeah.
do own quite a lot of snowboards.
Yeah. You
That
do.
that board was unreal.
Dan gave me one. Fucking
Yeah.
Dan. He
Yeah.
gets mentioned a lot. Sometimes he's a good guy. Sometimes he's a prick.
I don't think he's ever a prick. We just make it out like he's a prick
Yeah.
and just
He's
feed him for it.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
He's actually really nice.
He's actually he's a nice guy, and we're the pricks.
Yeah, definitely.
It's because we just make fun of everyone all the time,
Yeah.
especially you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, it is easier.
Yeah.
He gave me a 5.1. I had a 4.7 already. I
Yeah,
think I've
5.1
got-
was the one I rode. I rode that in Austria. It was so good.
The 4.7's pretty fun in Australia because it's
Yeah.
so little. It's still good. That must be 10 years old, that board, right?
I rode it in Austria, and that would have been maybe longer, 11 years ago,
Yeah, right.
potentially.
Ooh.
The thing's
But I think
unreal.
that wasn't the first one either, but it was the same shape as the first one.
If you want, I can lend you one. I've got 2. You'll get in trouble for riding it.
I should probably ride some of my own boards first.
Yeah, but you don't sell a board similar. If I'm right, I don't think there's a board.
what's
in
the point then?
range.
No one sells a board
And,
similar
and
anymore.
they discontinued it. It's
Yeah.
nuts. It's like how many people
They
chasing
discontinued
this
it
board?
probably 7 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a while ago when they started doing the bamboo looking things.
there's people hunting them down. They've
Yeah.
one of the few snowboards
got
that's
2?
holding its value. Yeah,
Yeah, they were good. I will give you that.
yeah, they were fun. So
That
the
was
whole
the first like
industry's-
volume shifty thing I rode, and I was like, oh, this is.
It was probably my first introduction to semi-directional, shorter, fatter boards, I guess. That would have been
Yeah.
one of the first I rode. I was shocked because I was like, wow,
Question.
that's so loose.
I don't know why I put my hand up, but what size mind expanders do you ride?
5.4.
5.4.
She's got a little one.
Yeah, I've got a 4.6.
I'd ride a 6.2. I'd ride a 6.6 if I was buying one.
I'm not heavy.
Yeah, I'm big rig.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I weigh 75 6
enough.
kilos. Something like that.
You're like, oh.
I'm not going to argue.
No, I think I ride right in the middle of their weight range, probably.
I
Their
thought I was
recommended
riding a
weight range.
4.2, but I'm actually riding a 4.6.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a
Yeah,
big argument. Claire went, "Where did my board go?
'Cause he
Who
came-
fucking took my board?" And it's
Because
like, "That's your
he,
board, you
he
idiot."
came in and was like, I almost gave your board away to a customer. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, because someone had booked one in for it to get tuned and serviced. And he was like, I almost gave your board away. And then I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think anything of it. And then like a couple of weeks later, we recorded a podcast and I was looking at my board and I thought I rode a 4.2 and I looked at it and it was a 4.6.
Lost the shit out
And I was like,
I'm pretty sure I watched that.
and I was
one.
like,
That
you
was one of the
gave
early
my
ones, wasn't it?
fucking
Yeah.
board away. And I'm like, you remember when you said you thought you did? I think you actually did.
Settle down, mate. You never had a 4.2. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fucking rude.
When they first came out, I feel like they were ride them small,
Yeah,
but it's not. I
No, you
think
don't
at
need
all.
to go
The nose is a
too
mile long.
yeah.
Like you're not
Yeah.
riding the whole
I
length of the
think
thing.
there's a bit of a misconception with the volume shifted or directional boards about length. I
Yeah.
think people are starting to work it out. They're starting to
Yeah.
ride bigger.
I was wron for a long time.
Yeah,
I rode boards
Same.
that were way too small.
I think you should
Yeah.
look at the weight rating.
I just took
Yeah.
a 5.2 on our last Japan trip.
5.2 Karua.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that was fucking amazing.
Yeah, and that was big for you. You
That-
think it was big for you,
yeah.
but I bet you if you looked at the weight ratings, you'd be
Like,
right.
I
Last-
took that a long time ago before I worked at Rush
Yeah,
in a 5.6 and it floated me.
yeah. I rode the
It
5.6 over
rides-
there, and it was a lot of board.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
thought it was quite a lot of board. I was the whole time thinking, "Fuck, I should be on the one Claire's on."
Yeah, yeah. Like if outside of powder boards on like normal mountain boards, the last demo day I did down at Perisher, I took out a board that was like a 5.0, I think, or a 4.9. And I was like, man, I can't fucking turn this. I don't know
That's
why.
it.
I was like, it's too much, like the length is too long. I'm like, maybe I'm just like a
Length
What
was
lazy.
was
too
it?
long.
I basically
I'm a
abused her
lazy.
until she rode bigger boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I was like, maybe I'm a lazy rider.
What board did you ride?
It was, I took out, actually rode, it was not one of the brands that we sell because I was demoing their boards.
Well, don't say it then. Fuck them.
And
Don't
but
give
then
them,
I
don't give them
came back
any
later
publicity.
in the day and took out, because I think it took a 4.9 or a 5.0 and I took out a 4.4 or something.
I think Claire rides boards way too short.
Yeah, I do. And I loved it. I was like, it was just the length of the board. But
That's
I
probably
like,
why she
if I'm
blew her
riding a
ACL.
5.0, I feel like I can't
I
fucking turn.
feel like I used to be the same. 'Cause I used to ride 46s
ride
and I was like, this
150s.
is it. And then now I've started riding bigger boards, but I feel confident enough or comfortable enough to ride them. I'm like, fuck, this is heaps better.
Yeah.
This is so much better.
Because they hold their edge.
Yeah,
And
they
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 can
do
carve.
what they're supposed to do because
Yeah.
you're on the weight
Yeah, and I
range.
just
Yeah,
so much
exactly.
stable.
Do
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, I like my board now is a 4.8, but I
Yeah.
think 5.0s still my head just goes.
I think
fuck
it's a
no.
mental thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
That was
struggled
me
mentally.
too. Forever,
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
A 160 was a monster.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'd ride a 159.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Half a
me,
centimeter either end.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
5.0, I'm like, I can't turn this
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's because I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know.
I think
Mental.
snowboarding is such a mental game
Yeah.
more than anything. So it's probably
Yeah, of course
up
it
here.
is. We
A little
grew
bit.
up. I grew up in that. Like my first boards from the 80s, so they were big, and then
You couldn't turn like they.
no, they didn't.
Yeah,
they
they were
actually.
Any boarding
planks
group.
of
So
wood.
Jones is known for split stiffish boards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flex any of these. Flex one of your old
Oh,
Palmers
they're
or something.
Not even close.
No, it's like trying to flex the floor.
Yeah, yeah. The Palmers particularly.
Yeah.
That was a weird era of snowboarding.
Yeah.
What was your first snowboard?
My first snowboard was the wrong snowboard.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 157 Nitro Magnum, which is a wide board. I have size 10 feet.
That must have
That's
turned
right.
great.
Yeah, it was.
It's like riding a
Yeah.
war pig.
My first board that I liked is on the wall. Well, one of them's on the wall downstairs. It's Forum Devon Walsh.
Yeah, right. That was one of my boards.
Wildcat.
Yeah, that was a good board.
I still have it.
What was your first board?
No, I'd say.
Burton.
Well, okay, this
It's
is
definitely a
before all the
Burton.
silly edge technology. No,
Not that silly edge technology. Different silly.
I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know how to do this. Anyway, I don't.
What was it? Come on.
Well, then what
Say
was
it.
the first
Was
sport
it
that,
it was a
like,
hell
Was
yes.
it hell yeah.
No wonder you're not allowed to
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah, but this was before it had slam
You're
back to
fired.
technology.
Yeah, so-
and-
yeah.
It's all right,
It
Ed. I
was kind
fired
of
it for you.
different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just beep it out. When,
it was a beep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Then what was it like your next snowboard after that then?
I feel like my
It's gonna
snowboard
get
history
worse and
isn't
worse.
great. It was a Salomon Oh Yeah.
Oh, they're a good board.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. I had heaps of fun. Started riding park, doing all that kind of stuff. Then I went back to the hell because that was
I
kind of
don't
all I
think
knew.
most people know they're buying things.
the first board, you don't know what you get.
Yeah.
You just, the guy, whoever in the shop,
Whoever's
the
in the
guy down
shop,
the
yeah.
shop's like, buy this. All right.
Okay.
Well, the guy
Yeah.
who sold it to me was Mr. Joey Stenko.
Yeah, right.
Footbed
Yeah.
man himself.
Footbed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Joey.
footbed
Yeah.
guy.
We sell these footbeds
Yeah.
very slowly, but we sell them.
Yeah, little gremlin loves feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Weird.
Little toe tickler.
Yeah.
What was your first board? Right, Forum.
Forum craft.
Yeah, Forum
Sick.
Craft.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm so old that mine's irrelevant.
What was it?
Sims Palmer Pro Model.
Yeah.
Hence
so-
my obsession with Palmers.
and also didn't turn because
Oh.
it was just stiff.
Should see the binding pattern, the holes.
Is it, you had to drill them or?
No.
No, they came
No,
pre-drilled.
there was that big round thing.
It's the same as the ones you had to drill, but they put
Horseshoes.
inserts in at that point. Yeah.
Like no base on the binder.
Yeah.
That was
When you say
that's-
inserts, you mean the things that trussed you up?
No, the metal. So in snowboards now we have the metal
And
insert.
they're called T-nuts.
Initially, boards came without that. Yeah, and you had to
You
T-nut
had to
them in.
put them in.
You just, it came as a flat deck, and you had to
You screwed
screw.
them in. We've got them
Screw them.
downstairs. I can
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah, no, you've got a lot of old shit downstairs. You
Yeah.
need to fucking get rid of.
T-bolts, mate. You never know when I might need
Oh
one.
mate, I T-bolted boards wider so that I could stand like 26
It's like
inches wide.
gangster.
Yeah, that's why my knees are fucked now.
That's why
Talk
my
about injuries.
body doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's just slow deterioration.
When was that? Early 90s. When did you start snowboarding?
What
era was it?
First time, 2000s, early 2000s.
Really? And you were still putting
Yeah.
width in your boards then?
Yeah,
By then I'd given up on it, I think.
because I was a big forum guy, so it was Nate Bozon,
Yeah,
it was all those
everything
guys.
was
huge,
fucking oversized.
Yeah.
It's like
Massive
all I wanted to
pants,
do-
massive
Yeah.
jacket. Yeah.
All I wanted to do was find a rail and do backflips on it.
Yeah, right.
Only thing I ever wanted to do. I couldn't board slide on rails.
It's so funny.
I could not do a regular backside board
Really?
slide. I
But
could
you
do
did
backflips,
backflips.
front boards, two sevs.
Yeah, right.
Everything
So you
was-
were literally watching a guy going, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I
good
was the
stuff.
Minnesota guy that couldn't turn.
So by the 2000s, I was more into speed. I was riding Palmers.
Like, meth.
Talking about
It was pretty prevalent.
That is not. That cannot be the fucking real for this podcast. Just so you know, that cannot be the real. God,
can't wait to see that it's a real.
Yeah.
I was so into it.
Mate, you walked into that.
Yeah.
We'll cut and edit it just so it lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Speed.
Yeah,
we
that's where I live
speed.
now. Is I like back to boards I ride now. The other one I ride, I don't think you guys sell, is the Aviator.
Yeah, it's down
Yeah,
in the
it
window.
goes fast.
Yeah.
It's kind of stiff now
Yeah.
for a modern snowboard. Heaps of camber. Goes
Yeah.
fast. Jumps.
Going fast is fun.
Yeah.
Like it's still fun.
Yeah.
Like the park just loses its thing at post 40, and I'm post 50.
Yeah, I just want to. If I'm gonna jump and do that shit, I just want to hit side hits.
Yeah.
You can go as big as you want, as small as you want.
Yeah.
You can just take it however you want to take it.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
work
know
for
about
you.
that.
You'll,
No,
you'll
I-
get there, mate.
I blew an ACL doing that.
And snapped your leg, didn't you?
And-
Broke your leg or broke your arm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something broke.
It broke arm, dislocated wrist.
Broken,
Yeah.
dislocated, no ACL.
Yeah,
Sweet.
smashed
Good
it.
Love it.
So are you
And
boarding
then
this year
Some
or
idiots had a
no?
showing and made you walk up 1,000,000 stairs like a week later.
That's true. It was a few days after the op.
Yeah.
Let's rent a house
Fine.
on
Like,
top
oh,
of
what's
it.
with all this stairs? It's like, you fucking lazy.
What do you mean?
First that surgery, like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I think you,
about
go,
that.
you probably should have come in the front
Yeah.
way. Like, you motherfuckers.
That was a
I
fucking.
don't know.
It's all right.
That was a
This
house on
year
the
we'll
hill,
know.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
What the
It
fuck
was nice
that?
though, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
We're there again this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can come through the back this time if you
Yeah.
want.
Let us
Even if you
know.
dress at the front.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Al can drop you
Whatever it
off
is.
and then you just go around the front and walk upstairs.
Yeah.
Parks.
Yeah.
Hard to
We're
park.
getting him split fit.
We'll get an Uber this year.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking driving, trying to park in
Yeah,
that
get an
shit.
Uber and we'll just have more. Bring some of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Sit on the deck.
Perfect.
Freshies.
no one's watching by now. Everyone's turned off.
These idiots.
How far
Fuck
into
what
this
are
are
they
we?
talking
All right,
about?
well then, a good question. How many seasons have you guys done? Like, where have you snowboarded in? Like, countries overseas?
For me, it's here, New Zealand, the normal ones. Canada, US, Japan,
Everywhere.
France. Not everywhere. There's heaps I want to go. Yeah, Yobbo,
France. Why'd you crunch up your nose when you
because I'm a Yobbo.
This is Macca you're talking to.
Yeah, I'm Macca over here.
Yeah.
You go to laugh and you do that. You go, ha!
I don't want to laugh too
France,
loud
Australia,
into
that's it.
thing.
France.
France. France. What about Italy? Never skied.
Nah,
Italy.
well-
Cortina's good.
I've ridden over from like Morzine and
That doesn't count, mate.
so that's what I'm
Just
saying.
because you crossed the border.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Cortina. That was one of my favourite.
Cortina's
mountains.
in Cordoba.
Yeah, it's also in
Oh, is it?
Italy.
Yeah. There you go.
It's like a whole mountain. There was no trees. It was all
Alpine.
fucking rocks and shoots. It's fun. It's actually really fun.
Team.
Scary. Good pasta. Amazing. It's awesome.
Hell
taste.
yeah.
The one
Wow, in
advantage-
Italy.
Yeah, fancy that.
Yeah.
The best
There you
part
go.
about snowboarding in Italy was the food.
I
Yeah.
feel like the best part about, not the best, maybe, is like you get to go to different countries and eat their food. Like you go to Japan to snowboarding, you get to eat ramen every day. Like it's
Mate, let's not get on to
That-
ramen. We've had a whole
Let's
podcast
go.
We
about that.
actually were looking before we like settled on Japan, like through the pandemic years. We were like, where else can we go? If Japan doesn't open their borders, where can we go?
Yeah.
We looked at Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
And
Benska.
one of the things that turned us off was the food because we were like, what the fuck
What are we going to eat?
Yeah.
We were both full vegan.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be meat.
Oh, we
Yeah.
were
It'd be
fucked.
meat.
We were like,
Eastern
we're
Bloc
going
is meat.
to... We
Yeah.
thought Japan was
Yeah.
bad. We're looking at the food going.
Japan's pretty
Yeah.
good. There's a lot of tofu in Japan.
Yeah.
Bulgaria is
Yeah.
not okay.
You
Like,
can't
it's not-
vegan
You
in
can't
Japan,
avoid
though.
pork in
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah,
though.
especially broths and stuff.
Being
Yeah.
a vegan in Japan's pointless.
Every dumpling.
What's
pork.
Yeah.
on your list of places to go?
I
Oh,
want to go to Kazakhstan.
Yep. I want to go to Iran or Georgia or somewhere that if you get skunked on snow, at least you're kind of
In a
fucking
cool
around doing
country,
something
yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, Iran would be a bit scary right now, but yeah.
No, don't worry about it. They don't have a president at the moment.
Yeah, that's a bit scary too. How'd that happen?
Oh, a helicopter fell over.
Just
fell over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
magically,
See ya.
some American guy maybe undid a bolt or two.
Shot a rocket at it.
Yeah, Kazakhstan. We met some guys. We've got these two customers that come in.
There's a few stands I'd go to.
Yeah.
Uzbek.
Well, these two
Yeah.
guys just
Did-
do that. They
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
searching for the most off the beaten track.
It's
know what's good
actually
with that?
really cool.
Skateboarding.
No, fuck. Most
No,
of these places have
dude, you
lifts,
don't
man.
need to though, because
No,
these
they have
places
fucking
there are no
beautiful
tourists,
resorts.
no one goes, and you have these
You got the
beautiful,
mountain to
like,
yourself.
in massive
Yeah.
mountains,
$40 a
and no
day.
one's there.
I'd still go split-boarding. I want to go to Georgia to go split-boarding. I want to go do a split trip in
You should
Georgia.
just get some snowshoes and go for a walk.
Snowshoes are fucked.
Okay.
There's so much
Okay.
effort.
Fucking so split
You
boarding,
carry
man.
a board on your
Yeah,
back and you have
fuck
to do
that.
this.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm
carrying
not
a
suggesting
snowboard.
going snowboarding. I'm just saying you should go for a walk in the snow
No.
because that's basically what you're doing. Anyway, let's not get back on to split boarding. The Starns,
Yeah.
these two guys, every year their deal is to go for a month or something and just find more off the beaten track. And they were showing me footage of like, there's a resort in Kazakhstan, I think, where it's in the trees. You're staying in tree houses.
Sick.
You ski out of your treehouse down to a lift, and it takes you back over the whole treehouse village, and you're riding down. They were like, it's fucking insane, and there was just
They've
no
done
one
Alaska
There's
and like
Alaska's
we were
definitely there for me as well.
yeah,
there. They've
Alaska
done
for
some
sure.
big gnarly places, those guys, but
Yeah.
the travel's pretty crazy. Like you're doing 50 hours.
Yeah,
to get
it's
there.
just you can't just fly to Uzbekistan or
No.
no.
You
You
gotta
fly
fly from
to
here to
there,
Dubai
there,
to
and there,
up to wherever, and then get on a plane that's going to
Yeah.
fall out of the sky if you're not careful.
Yeah, and you're going to feel like death by the time you get
Yeah.
there. So you're going to need a week just to
That's why they probably go
acclimatise.
for a month.
Yeah, they do. They were talking about that. They're saying like the first 5 days, you don't even know what's going on. You're just so tired and jet lagged, and then
Yeah.
you come good, start skiing and riding or whatever.
Yeah,
and
there's still so many mountains in Japan I want to go to.
that's
Yeah.
the thing, right?
Like,
Japan's
there's, like-
9 hours away, and it's so
Good split
fucking
boarding.
So
is
good.
good. While you're up,
My first walk off.
Rob, can you grab us a round of beers? I'll take another Mexican one.
yeah,
They're
whatever's going on, I don't care.
Mexican
I've
ones
had
are
3
good.
now, so they all like it's just beer at this point.
These ones are good.
It's heavier than I thought it'd be.
I'm pretty sure
For a big strong guy like
normally you
yourself.
wouldn't clap, and then one of the hosts runs off. To put the camera away. Professional outfit.
Yeah.
Super professional.
Do you leave the stickers on your hat on purpose?
Yeah,
Is that a cool thing?
Is that,
I
is that
don't
what the
know.
kids are doing?
I just leave them on there
That's what Al's doing.
because one
Starting
day
a trend.
I'll send.
So it is cool. If Val does it,
I don't drink too much.
Did your magnet work?
just whiskey.
Oh, you
Just
make
clipped it to it.
Oh, you clips
I leave the stickers on because one day I'm going to sell them as vintage in the store, and I'll
Yeah.
get more for them.
Fucking loser.
It makes them worth
How
it.
much? $5? $10?
10, probably
Doesn't
10
matter.
extra.
Yeah, but you know, he's got his $30 worth of use out of it.
Yeah.
I've got that hat. I think I sold that as vintage, maybe.
Oh yeah.
What did you
I was like, what fucking hat am I wearing?
did you
Hang on a minute, I have a hat.
I hope,
Yeah.
I hope
What
that
flavour
was
is this?
filmed because your eyes went so cross-eyed.
Yeah.
That can be the short
Yeah.
next week.
Your
Oh,
hat.
no. Don't do that to me.
Yeah, do it.
No.
Ah.
I'm just a girl.
What are we talking about? Teslas.
We were.
Whiskey.
I felt we've spoken about
We can.
Oh, whiskey, yeah. What is it?
Al's like, I'm ready for a fucking rant.
Yeah, Tesla baby.
Oh, fuck Tesla.
Yeah.
Claire decided one day to take us to the Yamazaki brewery in Japan, and they wouldn't let us in.
Yeah.
Why?
I
know.
tried. You've got to.
Yamazaki like a shopping?
Yeah,
sort of thing?
Yamazaki. Yeah, isn't that in Miyako?
Yeah, I think it's
Yamazaki,
the
the little.
Oh,
Maybe
you're
the
talking
store.
about the mini mart,
Yeah.
Yamazaki mini mart.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Uh,
No.
I'm
It's
assuming
also-
that means something else. It
it's
means
probably-
a word
I think
in
it's a-
It's
Japanese.
probably an area.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think it's a place.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's probably where the
And who
supermarket.
knows? We could look it up. We have
Yeah.
phones that tell us everything we need
Yeah.
to know ever.
But
That's
no.
all right.
No, it's better to
I'd
speculate.
No, it's just
Yeah.
spread
I'd rather not
misinformation.
know and just spread
Spread
rumors. Yeah.
misinformation.
Besides the point.
Yeah.
Did you know
They
for COVID you should drink dish liquid?
bleach, drink bleach. Yeah, we went there and they have to book 3 months ahead or something.
Crazy. I tried to get us in for like anything.
Just to the
Do-
shop.
I
They just
tried.
wanted to get
I was
into
like,
the
oh,
shop.
a tour. Let's do that. Fully booked. Let's do this thing. Fully booked. And I was like, okay, well, just let me get into the gift shop.
No.
Fully booked.
Japanese whiskey's like it's come
Oh.
pretty primo now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I learnt this on the plane on the way back.
It's exciting.
The
trip.
the Scotch, like the proper Scottish
Yep.
whiskey guys, to buy one barrel, not with whiskey in it, just the barrel from Japan is
Yep.
$3,000. So apparently it's something to do with the woods they use to make their
Oak or
barrels, and yeah, it's just the best in the world. And
Yeah.
feel
so
like-
the Japanese have learned how to brew it properly, and it's as good as anywhere.
It's like when Japan goes, we're going to do this. They
They
do
do
it
it better than
fucking
anyone.
well.
Yeah.
We
Like
went
even
to
coffee is really good in
So-
Yeah,
Japan
coffee's
now.
getting a lot better
It's
there.
getting there.
Yeah.
it's not still you still can't get
Dude,
a
when I
good
took
flat
you...
fucking white.
I
When
drink
I
black
took
coffee
you-
because I'm an adult.
Pardon?
I drink black coffee because I'm an adult.
You're fucking
And you're just fucking depressed.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
mate, you
maybe
may as
not
well just
depressed.
Yeah.
seriously
Wrong
drive
word.
off the nearest cliff if you're drinking black coffee.
I like black coffee.
I've actually started drinking black coffee.
There's a cliff
No, I
like
can't,
Same
five
person.
I
days.
can't do
Same
it.
person.
Honestly.
You remember
What's
that ad? I'm
happening?
you 10 years
Yeah.
from now.
26,
No.
eh?
Yeah, she's
I
getting
can't do it. I can't do it without milk.
I don't mind
Do you
it,
have-
but it has to be really good coffee.
certain type of milk,
Yeah, almond.
Yeah,
not cow.
not cow.
Fuck cow.
I don't know how else to put it.
Almond.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it tastes almondy, I don't like it.
Here's the
Yeah.
I'm going to
Fuck.
come across as a...
You sound like a nightmare to make a coffee for, eh?
Yeah.
If I ever
Yeah.
have someone, you want
I
a
don't
coffee, you go,
ask.
yeah, I go, fuck off.
Imagine
you
what I
probably
have
should.
to
It's
put
probably
up
a good
with
move.
Here's a black coffee.
every single day in Japan
Yeah.
because
Oh,
he doesn't go out of his way to go to the good coffee shops.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So
I just like
Except
coffee.
he battles through cans in a coffee and 7-Eleven
cans of
coffee and all of this shit.
Cans in a, you said cans in a
Coffee
coffee.
in a can
Yeah.
and all this shit. And every time he goes, oh, that's fucking horrible. And he just bitches and moans. And then he's just a negative Nancy for the
It
rest of the
genuinely
day because he
becomes
hasn't had
about my
coffee.
caffeine addiction rather
That's
than
because you're a-
coffee.
Yes,
I
sir.
just need
Australians are so
fucking
much
caffeine.
worse, eh?
Yeah.
Than anywhere else in the
Yeah.
world.
We have it too good here, I think.
Yeah, we're pretty
Coffee's
big
just
coffee
good.
Yeah,
club.
coffee's really good.
Do you like
here.
instant coffee?
No.
Oh,
No,
man.
that doesn't mean you like coffee because you like
fucking love
instant
it.
coffee.
I love instant coffee.
That's
Really?
cool, man.
Yeah.
I got into coffee like in the last 2 years sort of thing. And I skipped instant. I fucking hate it.
Absolutely.
It's not coffee.
No,
He
shit.
tells me all the
freeze-dried
time, he's
coffee.
like, you don't
Freeze-dried
like
coffee.
coffee because you don't like instant coffee.
Do you like the
Fuck
band?
off.
Do you like
No.
the band?
I like the
Thank you,
act of
Claire.
like doing a shot, grinding the beans, pouring a proper coffee.
I just want to drink it, eh?
You've got an addiction problem.
Yeah.
Do you like the band
No.
Toto?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're a freeze-dried coffee band. I don't even know what any of the members of that band look like.
Oh,
I would assume that.
See? Don't know.
No, I don't know.
But you like the music because it'll
They're
do.
fine, yeah.
That's what
Well, they're
instant
fine.
coffee
I'm not
is.
going out of my. If they was like Toto's touring, back.
That's what freeze-dried
Whatever.
coffee is. They're
Yeah.
a freeze-dried coffee band.
Yeah, I like freeze-dried coffee.
Yeah. What about the Steve Miller Band? You like them too?
Nah.
I bet you do.
I like it.
Yeah,
I've got
see,
a
you
good.
know the music.
I've got a good band fact for you. You know
Yeah.
how I texted you today and I said you were like
Van Halen.
listing your demands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely not a freeze-dried coffee.
No.
No, but he was listing his demands for this podcast.
So like, you're out here for 4 hours, like, yeah, my trailer should be ready, and there should be this.
and I wanted the Seuss, and I replied, no brown M&Ms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Van Halen. That was, you know what that was about? I can tell you the
It was.
story.
I know it was like a clause in their contract somewhere down low. Just
No.
to,
Yeah, but you know what it was about.
no, not really.
It was Eddie Van Halen's way of making sure that
People read the contract.
that there was an attention to detail, because if a fucking guitar's plugged in and there's some water or something between him and the amp, he can die. So it was a safety thing.
So
It was his way of making
checking.
sure they actually did everything else on the thing.
Yeah.
Read the band's request.
Movie about that. It's called
Yeah.
Almost Famous, and the Stillwater guy touches the mic. It's been water. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And they drive
all
through the
that was
fence.
about.
Yeah.
It was made out like they were some pretentious
Tailah,
twats.
have you seen Almost Famous?
How can
Yeah.
you need to watch
It's a
that.
really good movie.
Yeah. That's one of the
I
Great
haven't
movie.
watched
me
a
and
lot
my
of
wife
movies.
sit around and
Yeah,
talk
I
to her
haven't
about it, and we're like,
I'm
no,
like you.
need.
Yeah, I do
I'm
that
like,
to
"Yeah."
her.
Yeah.
When I
Shut up.
Yeah.
when I was 18
It's
years
really
old,
good. It's a really good movie.
yeah, when I was 18 years old and started working with Al, he was like, "You haven't seen this movie? You haven't seen this movie?"
They were just like
Yeah, I've
fucking
seen a lot of things.
important.
in my
Important
phone
movies.
notes,
They are
there's
important
like a
movies, yeah.
list of movies.
I'm
You play
honestly at the
records?
point with him where I'm
For
like,
me, that
I need
was
a
like
list
my
in
childhood.
my
I had to
phone.
watch
Yeah.
that.
Having
Yeah.
two different conversations, but whatever.
We are having two different
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. Yeah.
That was like possibly the worst minute.
Sorry for the audio.
Yeah.
That might have
We're
been the
trying really hard.
When-
Yeah.
that might have been the worst minute of podcasting we've ever done.
When we were talking about movies before,
So now
we,
my
watched,
story.
we watched Almost Famous the other week, and it's still such a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Wasn't Almost Famous. We watched Empire Records.
Oh, really? It's a
Which
good
is really
movie
good
too.
as well.
Yeah. I make my kids watch all these movies.
Yeah.
My 17-year-old hates them, but my
Oh, dude.
22-year-old loves them.
Like
Yeah.
that era of music that Almost Famous is about is a very important era of music.
Every year is important.
No, currently is
yeah.
not.
No, I
Here we
can't.
fucking go. Don't get him started on music right now.
Don't.
Immersive,
I,
like-
I'll go just.
punk's having
I'll
a
go
run.
with you on that rant.
It's having a run, but it's not the same. They don't really have anything to be pissed off about anymore like they did. I don't think.
Not really. Well,
Yeah.
they will soon.
They
I
will.
reckon.
Well, I was like, I remember.
It's all about
Yeah,
to go
sounds a
shit
bit
shaped.
sad, but when Donald Trump got in, I was like, "It's going to be a good era for punk music."
It
And
didn't
it
work.
wasn't. Yeah,
Yeah, but the ramifications are
Yeah.
still. It's about to
because
be.
all the Ronald Reagan punk music
Yeah.
is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this introduction
went-
phase of punk, where
Twice.
it's still kind of like real clean cut sort of
Yeah.
thing, is paving the way for the next part.
Yeah, we need more DIY punk.
It's
'cause
gonna
that's
go
the best
Pear
music.
shaped.
Yeah.
So the punk will go.
Like people listen now and go, all right, cool, we're good with mosh pits, we're
Yeah.
good with punk bands, we're good with this again.
But to me, when I listen to punk, I grew up listening to Blink and NoFX and those sort of quite refinedy sort of.
No effects were a bit more.
But they're
real.
produced, right? They're quite well produced. And then
Yeah,
as I've gotten
absolutely.
older and changed, went into hardcore and metal and everything else, and then I found my way all the way back to the start. And I was like, it's just so good because it's just dudes who can't play instruments who are just like, let's just fucking
That's where it
yell
began,
about something.
Yeah,
And you're like, so good.
it's a shame
Hates it.
Portnoy's not here.
Who?
I do not
Portnoy.
hate it.
Yeah.
Normally, well, Neil's taken over because Portnoy's always away, but the lead singer drummer of Coffin produces the podcast, and he is a fucking nut job. I love him more than anyone. He's the best guy ever. But yeah, they couldn't when they started. They couldn't play their instruments. He talks about Amel and the Sniffers, like
Yeah.
them having to like learn their instruments.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, they're starting to get good because they've learned how to
How to
play.
play,
Whereas like for him, like Abijah, they're like, we're having to slow him down.
They've got a guitarist
because
where
he's
they're like,
too good.
Oh, he knows how to play. He's like,
yeah,
mate,
Yeah.
like he's like,
rein it in. We're making this look bad.
yeah.
They're like, slow it down. Like,
Yeah, you're playing death metal speed
Yeah.
guitar, and we're a punk band, man.
Yeah.
Calm down, like you've got to.
The point is, we suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's good about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's all become very strange. I
Yeah.
don't know. But it'll get punk will get.
It goes. It's
Has to.
always waves.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the Misfits to come to Australia. They've been touring as the Misfits, and I'm like, come on.
Who's
guys.
even in the Misfits anymore?
Well, Jerry Only and Danzig are friends again.
Are they?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
so they've been playing shows.
You're right. Danzig must be 60.
It probably is, yeah. Jerry Only would be too, with he's still got the Warlock's fringe or whatever they call it.
Yeah, right.
The
Shit.
silly fringy rocks around in.
Yeah, well, we still sell the skateboards.
The
The zero ones. Yeah.
You should,
Yeah.
well, you shouldn't, you don't have to do anything, but
good.
when you get offers for those, can you send them to me and I'll buy most of them? Like,
bit
just
late.
send me yeah. But no, I
You're
know that
fucking coming in late.
Zero do it all the time.
You
I've
mean
got-
pre-books?
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
get pre-books, just show me them and I'll order. If I
Okay.
can, I'll order some.
Sure. Sure.
I'll buy a skateboard from you.
Okay, thanks.
I just want to say that the idea of this podcast has come from that. Like,
What?
we've literally just captured our, like, what we normally talk about. Of like, the idea for this podcast was just talking shit and like,
Yeah, and it
refs
evolved
coming
into
the
like
office,
this
whereas
fucking
like,
format thing.
yeah.
I was saying to Neil, I couldn't do a format. I would get so
No.
derailed. Very
I'm not
quickly.
very. I'm pretty ADD, so I can't.
I
have a
assume I
format
am. I've
to
never
do
spoken to doctors or anything about it, but
it. I assume you are too. Mate.
I went to,
Just
we
quietly.
know.
It's now recorded forever. You're definitely
Yeah.
up there.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stay on track.
I went to get diagnosed and I like was like, yep, I've got this. And then I only realized afterwards that I read the first instruction, not the following 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I like rocked up to my phone and being like, yeah. And they're like, where's the other 10 things you need? And I was like, oh, fuck.
I got distracted. What a shock. Yeah. My daughter was diagnosed at 20-ish, 21. And when they diagnosed her, I was like, makes sense. Yeah, I'm bad. My wife's really not. So I've got one kid that's really not, that looks exactly like my wife, and one kid that is really ADD and looks exactly
And
like
she's
me.
got the same attitude as you.
Yeah.
She loves
Yeah.
music. She
Yeah.
loves movies.
Yeah.
She's you.
Yeah, that's weird. Our genetics with my wife and I are split properly.
yeah, they didn't mesh well.
No.
You got a little you and a
Yeah.
little yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Identical,
fully.
like physically, like looks as well. And
Yeah, personality,
everything.
everything. It's crazy. Even height. Like my daughter's short and stocky, and my wife's tall and thin, and my other daughter's tall and thin with blonde
Yeah.
hair and blue eyes.
And yeah,
My other daughter's got red hair and brown eyes. It's like, what the fuck?
yeah, the genetics didn't
How did
mix
they-
at
Yeah.
all.
Like water and oil. It's just
And just like
There's a bit of it there, but it's,
Yeah.
it's not
It's
doing
like-
anything. Yeah.
No.
It's just there because it has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, like personality, emotional, like everything, like the way they think.
Tia's a little more emotional than me, but she's a
Go.
she. Yeah. So that tends to cause that problem, I think. That causes that.
You are emotional as
I'm
well.
not fucking emotional. What do I get emotional about? I get angry. That's
Yeah,
That's
I
you
get-
emotion.
I get frustrated, I think, is my main emotion.
You
I don't.
put your emotions outwards. You process your emotions verbally.
This is turning into a therapy session.
I feel like for me, it's
Yeah, next.
people can tell when I'm pissed off. It's just like
You can't.
People- People can
anger
definitely
is an
tell when I'm
emotion.
pissed off because I normally tell them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Yeah.
ADD, right?
Where we want to go next?
That's so good. That's a pretty good indication that there's a problem.
Yeah.
I can't remember that you were
Have
talking
you actually
about
thought that
ADD.
you were ADHD?
I don't care.
No, I
To be
don't
honest.
either now.
I don't
It's
think
too
it's
late.
going to change.
Do you think as well?
I don't think it's going to change anything that I
Did you
do.
finish school?
No.
That's another
I
indicator.
went snowboarding.
Me
I
too.
went for 3 months in year 11 so I could get a student card so I could buy a student season pass. And I changed the date on it for 3 years.
Yeah. That's probably a fairly good indicator. Did you ever do well at school?
I did pretty well at school.
Really?
Yeah.
So it can't be too ADD.
Just because
I like learning the
you
way
can
I like
be
learning, and
fucking
certain-
intelligent.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't.
I feel like
obviously.
you
just
just really
not
focus in on
care about
certain
applying.
But there's sort of certain things at school too. I think school's a joke, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, what you're learning at school does not teach you how to be a functional member of society at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Like,
agree
it
with
is a
that.
joke what you
Yeah.
learn at school.
Yeah.
It's
I went to a Montessori school for the first.
what?
A
Yeah,
Montessori
what?
school?
Dinosaurs?
No. It's like
A Monty what?
It may as well be. It's a fucking one of those free learning
no,
things.
So
it's
like
not.
a Steiner school?
No, it's not artsy.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
what I was
artsy.
thinking of.
No, it's not like full art space.
Yeah, but it's all the weird kids, isn't it? It is. For sure it is.
Yeah.
No, they still have to tick all of the boxes as a normal primary school and high school.
Why has it got a different name?
Because the approach to learning is different.
It's like Finnish.
No, it's like I don't know.
Finnish, like apparently you just go into school and it's like, what do you want to learn? They're like,
Exactly,
this.
that's
Yeah,
it.
Sweet. And
That's
then they
it.
teach you the way you can be taught, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like it's
So-
quite applied learning.
Yeah, so I still had to do maths, I still had to do everything, geography, all of that shit. But instead of like coming in and all of us sitting in a classroom facing the thing,
Yeah.
it was like, hey, here's all the activities around the room, you pick and choose what you want to do. And then when an activity was busy, they'd be like, hey, come do maths or do this. And
Yeah.
then like we also had like class projects where we were like, all right, we're going to build a garden outside our classroom. So we have to learn maths and physics and all this kind of shit as well, and learn like with how you fucking
build
learn.
garden.
Hit me. What are you hitting me
Because you
for?
learn by doing, right?
Yeah.
True.
So that was like my whole primary school upbringing of like, so I learnt differently, and so now I like
Struggle in day-to-day life.
Yeah, to me, I remember
learned
going to
differently.
school and I felt like I would go home and I never studied for anything, never read anything. I cheated on every
Yeah.
exam I ever did.
Yeah.
But I did relatively well when I had to take a
It's
test.
because you were cheating.
No, when I had to take a test, I didn't cheat, but I just did relatively well. But my
What's
year-
an exam? You
I lived in the
literally
golden
just
area.
contradicted yourself.
yeah, like
I cheated on
I
every
did
single
10
exam
things,
I
but
No,
ever
not
did.
exams, on assignments, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, like plagiarize. and
Oh,
that kind of
yeah.
shit.
So I lived in
Yeah.
the golden era of the internet where teachers couldn't check what
No.
was
Yeah, there's no
plagiarism.
AI.
So
There's
it was
no
just,
AI.
I did
So
my year
good.
10 science thing. I remember the day before it was due. My mum's like, isn't that due tomorrow? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, what are you
Copy
going to do?
and paste.
Yeah. What? And I went to Google or Yahoo at the time, I suppose. It was like, what boils faster, hot or cold water? Clicked on a thing, copy, paste, print, handed it in, got an A+.
You had to Google what boils faster, hot or cold water.
What do you think it is?
It-
It's hot
The
water.
hot water's already hot.
Boiling, freezes faster.
You fucking
yeah.
dickhead.
Yeah.
It's hot water.
It's hot water, yeah.
Hot or cold water.
I didn't read it though. I found out after the fact.
You found out tonight.
Just now.
Yeah, because I just handed it in.
Breaking
Got,
news.
got an
Breaking
A.
news.
Got an A and was like, yeah, it's right.
Fun facts with Tim.
Come first in my year in science.
Yeah, so
Thanks,
die,
guys.
actually.
Yeah, I cheated.
We
I
should-
could just write heaps good essays, so
Oh, fuck no, I could not.
yeah.
I get so bored.
I never did any of my homework.
Nah, me either.
Me
And I would
neither.
go to school and argue with teachers about not doing homework. It was like, I come here for fucking 8 hours.
Yeah, how
Teach
much
me
more
my
do
I'm
you
going to go home and have fun.
Yeah, I'm not coming.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
This-
come back to school to skate
yeah.
stairs.
What do
Yeah.
we teach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to stay when I have to go because
Yeah.
I'm going to skate stairs, but I want to go when I have to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you, science.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have science class like 2 mornings a week at like the first class, and then one on like a Friday afternoon.
Oh.
And so I never made the 2 morning classes and only made the Friday afternoon class. And I'd always sleep in, and then me and my friend would go get breakfast and like end up coming at recess.
Yes.
And then
Recess.
yeah.
What about that? What happened to that? So long.
Do you know who said it to me today? Chunk. He calls me and he goes, "Oh, sorry, I was just eating a recess size chip packet."
Who said that?
Chunk.
Oh, damn.
I haven't heard
And
the
I was
word
like-
recess
I was
since I
like,
left
that
school
is
20 years
amazing.
ago.
It's like one of those little packets.
Yeah.
It's like one of the ones you
Yeah.
get 16 in a bag.
Yeah.
4 of each. And
Yeah.
one's really
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Recess size. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Recess
So good.
And then you just go buy a new packet because you don't eat them.
Yeah.
You just put them in the packet and go, I'll eat them later.
Yeah.
You never eat salt and vinegars.
Oh,
Anyway.
piss off.
Oh, here we go.
Salt
Here
vinegar's
we
the
go.
best.
I just picked the random
It's the
thing.
fucking best.
I'm not.
So we had a thing that happened the other day.
We had a PK somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to get some beers or something?" They're like, "No, just get some Coke." Okay. And then I was like, "All right, do you want to get some food?" And like, just get some chips. I'm like, okay. Anyway, we go into Woolies, get our Coke and chips, and I was like, salt and vinegar. And she's like, think about everyone else. What do people like? And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I like salt and vinegar. And then we get there, we walk in, and they're like, oh, salt and vinegar, it's so good. And I was like, oh, salt and vinegar.
Everyone in the
salt
shop
and vinegar.
loves salt and vinegar.
Really?
I was like, sweet, I'm
That was
stopping
lucky.
up from now on. And
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Tim can do it.
I didn't eat any. I was disappointed.
I think salt and vinegar's universally loved,
Yes.
It's
isn't
the
it?
most
It
popular
is.
flavour on
Not-
the planet.
Not
Apparently.
sure why I picked it as the
Yeah.
one that you wouldn't eat.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Do you remember those chip
chicken either.
packets
I
a
don't
while
know,
ago
but
that
it's
used to
weird.
have like extra salt and vinegar flavor packaging
Yes.
that you
Was
could
it
put on?
Sam Boys?
Sam Boys,
Yeah.
yeah. We went for a hike when I was younger,
Just crush this flavour.
and we
I've
no,
done that.
Weird.
my
This
dad
is
had
gonna
had
be
a packet.
four-part fucking podcast.
I told you 8 minutes
Drink
of using
vinegar.
Yeah, none of it's usable. I don't think there's 8 minutes. I don't think we're going to get 4
Nah.
minutes
We
out.
went for a hike.
We're at 2 hours?
2 hours.
Fucking hell, I'm good at talking shit.
There's your reel.
It just falls out of my mouth. Sorry, please.
No, all good. No, your shit's way more important to say.
No, it's really not. Eh?
It's
If you have
so
to
not.
listen to him all day, every day, it's not.
We drove
how you
around, I sit in the
fucking do
car
it.
and I just talk to her when she's not listening.
Oh, I guarantee
I'm
she
just
wasn't
there
listening.
yapping
Checked
away.
out.
She's like, what? I'm like, none.
He talks about hockey a lot. And I'm
Yeah,
always
hockey
like,
heaps. I love hockey.
yeah, okay.
Hockey,
Yeah.
like ice hockey.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And
Best
he just
sport-
keeps yapping.
best
He's like,
sport on earth.
You're not listening.
By
I'm like,
miles.
Tim, I don't really care. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Best sport on earth by miles. You should move to Canada.
I would live in Canada.
Really?
Quite
Just
easily.
for ice hockey?
I
No,
feel
for
like-
everything else as well.
I've never played
Yeah,
ice
I
hockey.
feel
I
like
don't
I
even
could
know
see
if
you
I
in
can
Canada.
ice skate. I've never tried.
Yeah.
It's heaps of fun.
Have you
eh?
been to Canada?
Yeah, I lived in Canada for a couple
Did
of
you
years.
rollerblade?
Yeah. I played roller hockey. I
Yeah.
played roller
Let's-
hockey. I
let's
didn't
talk
about that some
rollerblade.
more.
I didn't rollerblade. I bodyboarded. Yeah.
But you didn't want to be an old bloke that bodyboards.
Confession.
Yeah, I stopped bodyboarding when I was like 20 because there was this weird old dude at the beach I used to surf at.
Flotation issues?
Me?
No.
No, fat floats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just went, yeah, he's good with flotation.
That was brutal.
Yeah. When somebody listening.
Fat floats.
It is what it is.
But there was this weird old guy, and I remember just looking as a kid at this guy bodyboarding going, he's probably 30, but I'm 15 going, that old cunt over there. The C word's probably a bit too much, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I was like, I will never be that. I will not be that weird old dude at a beach who bodyboards.
So you quit at 20.
Yeah, so I quit at 20.
And what,
How
took
old
up
were you
what?
when you said that to yourself?
15, maybe younger.
So you had like
you
a
gave
good
yourself a
solid
5-year
5
run.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, I
I
was
used
good at bodyboarding because it's fucking easy. You
yeah,
lay down
no
and
shit,
roll
you lie
over and
down and flip
That's
it.
it,
hang
done.
out, yeah.
Flip it
Tick.
into a
Piece
wave.
of piss.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. I said when I was a kid that I wouldn't go see bands when I was old because I always thought the old dude was fucking weird, creepy dude.
I,
But I still go see bands.
I went and saw The Descendants and it was just old dudes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Bands back then stopped touring because someone would die.
Yeah.
And now they just tour, like the fucking Rolling Stones are on tour again.
How are they not died? How is Keith Richards
I
alive?
don't
eh?
know.
Wait, what? Would they not died?
It's a fair question.
How are they not dead?
How
Yeah,
have they not died?
yeah, he left a word out.
You
But
mixed
I
up
got your
two
point.
sentences
I
there.
think I said, how has they not died, to be
Well,
honest.
most of them have, haven't they?
We
It's
can play
only-
it back. We get some subtitles. People figure it
I
out.
need subtitles.
Just for that bit.
I'll
Yeah.
edit,
I'm gonna
I'll
need
edit the
some
subtitles
subtitles.
for you.
Subtitles or nothing.
I do that for myself. Like there'll be reels where I like mispronounce a whole sentence, but the subtitles will be perfect.
Excellent.
How have they not died?
No idea.
There's only 2 left, though, right? Isn't there Keith and Mick? I think the rest are dead.
I don't know. I don't know. if
Charlie
they're-
Watts is dead. Ronnie Wood's dead, aren't they?
Maybe. I don't know. But
I don't know.
Keith Richards should be dead. I feel like he is dead and they've just kind of put a robot in him. or
Weekend at Bernie's.
something. Yeah.
Just
Just
kidding.
Weekend and Bernie's
Little
thing.
puppet.
There's a movie you should
Yeah,
see.
you probably have never even heard of it.
Have you
I
seen
haven't
that?
seen that.
Have you heard of
What are
it?
you talking about?
Weekend at
Weekend
Bernie's.
at Bernie's.
I've heard of it, never seen it.
It's great.
It's so good.
It's so good. They got a
Alright,
dead
yeah.
guy.
There's
I
a
need
dead
a list
guy
of all
named.
these
There's a
movies
dead guy
that I
named
know.
Bernie.
I didn't know
And they
anything
string
about
it
it.
up to
Told
like
you
wave at
what
people
hours
and
Yeah,
shit.
to me.
great.
And he hosts
Thank
like
you.
parties and stuff.
I'll leave a little review at the end.
That's another
Yeah.
little bit where we've just all had separate
Yeah,
conversations.
two conversations. Fucking hell. We really need to wrap this thing up. This is getting
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
No, that's
pear-shaped.
just want to say.
Wrap it up
What do you
with
got to
Weekend
say?
at Bernie's.
your-
Personally, not much.
It's your platform.
Yeah, it was. Watch Weekend at Bernie's. You'll
Yeah.
fucking hate it, I reckon,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it's so.
Yeah, I
good.
reckon you hate it,
Yeah.
but it's so good. They made a second one. It got
I
worse.
think
and
they've
worse.
got 3 or 4 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they rip it off on like
Yeah,
How I
it's-
Met Your Mother. Have you ever watched that? It's called Weekend at Barney's. It's like when I die, I want Weekend at Barney's.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's such a great movie. I loved that movie when I was growing up.
Yeah, I was.
My dad was called Bernie too.
Was it?
So,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like
It really hit home.
kind of hit home. Except that the dude was dead and my dad wasn't.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
Same guy.
yeah, same dude. All right, let's get the fucking this thing done.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we have to?
What do we have to talk about?
Nah.
Sweet.
Nah, it's not a PK. We didn't make you dress up and
That's heaps
split
good,
board
eh?
across the floor.
Oh,
What
do
other
it.
tricks have you had to do this week?
What other tricks? Not a lot. Just talk.
Just talk.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Be nice.
PK after
pretty
PK.
good
Verbal
Yeah.
vomit the same shit. Or
It must be brutal. We did a PK last week and it was hard work. They're hard to
it's
sit through
Do you
when
know
you
what?
kind of know it all.
when people are into it, it's so good because they ask questions and they're engaged. But when you've just got drones, it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel this.
hello,
Where is it not?
What was that?
they want to come in.
I don't have keys.
I don't have keys either.
What do they want?
Don't even know who it could be.
Do they want to join our great conversation?
Yeah.
Housekeeping. There's people here, so we got to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
See
guys for
next
coming
week.
and talking
that was
shit.
heaps of
Hey,
fun.
no worries.
Yeah, we'll do it
Drinking
again.
beer.
I've got plenty more shit to talk about.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, forever.
Next time you're in Sydney,
Yeah.
we'll do another one.
2.0.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. See you in a week.
Bye.
Come to our Welcome to Winter party.
It's the ball.